This one I better do. And I talk about my face, call you that. Big man, wait, that. Because it don't you want to all the way. They can't right. I don't feel I do not see what's the complete. You want to all the way. They can't I don't feel I do not see. Make you say anything when you do, they must go. Hey, I can't come and see myself. So anything you do, I can be one. I can't come and see myself. Let you survive. That's a great job. But my people, they go say, I know one time. I know one time. I know one time. I want enjoy. I want job time. I want Bible. I want feel. I still want to love. All the way. I don't feel I will not see. What's it come? Chihuahua, all the men, they get it. I know different things that happen in schemes and packaging. In a one night for shows and juggling. Calling the ocean and port. Shara shit up and that's my bro, my family. When it comes to money, I did concentrate. Because I tell you straight, you are not my bitch. If you become a shit, I'll be here to stay. But now people they go say I know one time, I know one time, I know one time. I want enjoy, I want job time, I want Bible, I want feel. I still want to know. What's it go? You want to all the way. Because you right, I go be right with us. What's it go? You want to all the way. Because I know you will do that.
Alex, take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I learn how to hold my breath, deep down on my knees. Cause you really want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? In my head, with me upstairs. Open me up, I was thinking disappear. It was never even enough. Did you ever love me? Was I ever good enough? Yeah, I'm good enough. I'm not good enough. Think about shit that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cat. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, and he throwing her back. Think about me cause he know that it's fat. Yeah. And it been with a thing. Pulling his phone like you'll send me your pin. Look at my shit cause he know what I'm on. But when he need me, I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you. And I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak, does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit, then you do.
Good with it. Good with it, y'all. What's good with it, y'all? Wait until the chat fill up a little bit, and I'm gonna get in. If I don't feel it, it don't fill up in time enough. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna ride it out for a little minute, see if the chat fill up. Just send it out. I just sent out all my links. See who pop up in the building, who rocking with me tonight. If not, I'm just gonna keep on going. And, proceed with this study tonight. Welcome to the Algie Hees podcast show, y'all. By the way, what's good with y'all? Y'all rocking with Algie Hees. You know what I'm saying? Y'all rocking with brother Gullah Jabir, you know what I'm saying, in the building. What's good with it?
You know, babe, when you hold me, you kiss me softly to sweet sleep. And it don't change. If I had it my way, you would know that you are. You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're my sunshine in the rain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me? Give it all. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. When you go, I'll follow. No matter how far. If life is a movie, oh, you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part. It's the sunrise and those brown eyes. You're the one that I desire. When we wake up, then we make love. It makes me feel so nice. You're my water when I'm stuck in the desert. You're the time I take when my head hurts. You're the sunshine of my life. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know where to start. Where you go, I follow. No matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, part. Oh. If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? Won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me,
Yo, what's good with it? Welcome to the Algaes podcast again, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Please like and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. You know what I'm saying? Get the notifications. Rock with me Friday night. Might do a show tomorrow night too. I just want to do a show on this particular subject tonight on the case studies of the fabled Molly voyages to the Americas or the Atlantic voyage. I ain't gonna say to the Americas. Some people stretch it and say to the Americas. Well, some of the Mandy people did explore a little bit of the Atlantic Ocean. That's why I say it's an assessment, it's a case study. But no, I don't believe that they made it all the way to the Americas. No, I do not. And I'm gonna show that tonight. I'm gonna show that tonight in this show. I'm gonna show that tonight. And I'm gonna tell y'all about the confusion about the predecessor of Mansa Musa, because it's supposed to have been whoever took this voyage supposed to have been the predecessor of Mansa Musa. We all heard this story, and I don't know if you read They Came Before Columbus. I read that story I read that book by Ivan Van Sertima a long time ago. So I had to put it down because the book, it's a little outdated, of course. To me, it would be considered a pseudo book in today's scope. Anybody ever like upholding that book as if it was factual history? But even Ivan Sertima himself, he was trying to present his viewpoints on his evidence, whatever. Even though it's considered pseudoscience today. But he mentions Abu Bakr. A lot of people mentions Abu Bakr II. That was the predecessor of Mansa Musa. But y'all in for a rude awakening tonight. If y'all want to know the real history, the actual history of these quote unquote Malayan, voyages or Malayan voyages in the Atlantic, or they didn't even really. I wouldn't even say going to the America, because they didn't even know nothing about the Americas. The Malayans didn't know nothing about America or Native Americans, none of that. And even I always make a case myself. I always make a good point myself that if the Malayans came to the Americas, they would have had some type of iron technology or iron knowledge with them, and because the Mali Empire, especially during the 1300s, they would have definitely been an Iron Age culture, and even when the conquistadors or the Spaniards and Portuguese came in to the Americas during the 1400s, the Native Americans were still in the Stone Age phase. And some people might say, "Oh, they probably went there." So no, none of that never happened. They died at sea. We're gonna show that tonight. What's good with the pure black? It's an Imhotep Jackson Jr. Jr. It's funny, bro. Okay, we're finna get it in, y'all. This gonna be a very interesting study. I'm gonna start off with Wikipedia. I'm gonna start off with the Wikipedia source first. And I also got a book source. I also have a book source as well. I'm gonna show that, and I'm gonna show you the points in that book. It's a book called African Dominion, a history of empire in early medieval West Africa. And it's written by Michael A. Gomez. If y'all familiar with the author, he's a black professor and author and scholar. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, Michael A. Gomez is a silver professor of history and Middle Eastern Islamic studies at New York University. His book include, like, if y'all familiar with his book, I know y'all familiar with his book include The Black Crescent, you know what I'm saying, African Muslims in America. We talk about like the Islamic, you know what I'm saying, aspects in African American culture for like Nation of Islam. And even before that, he goes really into depth in that book. Uh, Reversing Sales, a history of African diaspora. I got that book. In Exchanging Our Country Marks, the transformation of African identities in colonial and antebellum South. It's the book right here, though. It's the book right here. But I got the digital copy as well. You know what I'm saying? I got the digital copy as well. What's good with it? Got my brother Says in the building. What's up with it? What's up with it? You know what I'm saying? I got the physical copy. Well, it's a pretty good book, man. Got the physical copy because this book, he got a lot of Arabic word, like, you know what I'm saying. And Michael Gomez is he a black brother. You know what I'm saying? The professor. He's a black professor. Even though that don't matter, but I'm just letting y'all know he one of us. You know, African American brother. But if you can look check out some of his he got a couple of lectures on on his studies of Mali and Mali Empire and on YouTube. Catch a lot of on YouTube. But I have the audio. I got this book in three different copies. I have the physical copy, I got the digital copy, and I also got the audio book. Because the audio, when I read along when I read this book, either with the digital copy or this book, I read it along with the audio book. Like I read along with it because he uses a lot of Arabic words in there, and it helps me understand the pronunciation. I don't want to fuck up the words, so like it helps. Like the audio book helps with pronunciation. So like sometimes you read a book, a lot of history books, you come along with some words that's foreign, like different languages. So I want to get that right pronunciation of the word, so I'll be on point. Yeah, though, man. Let me show my screen real quick. This finna wow a lot of people who ever read that Alvin Certain book. Show my screen. Show my screen real quick. Here we go. Okay. Atlantic Voyage. Atlantic Voyage of the predecessor of Mansa Musa. Okay, hold on, put my sling on. Y'all see, man, my hand getting better, y'all. Remember I told you I broke my finger with my dog, broke my finger for my dog. My finger getting a little better. Put my splint on. You know what I'm saying? Can't have it too loose. So I got a cane corso, y'all. So dog broke my finger pulling a leash. Yep, Sid's in the building. Sid, man, Sid's. Y'all know Sid's, bro. Sid's one of the original OG Team Osiris members, yo. Me and him, we the originals, we the OGs. If y'all don't know, like, if y'all was there in the beginning, it was, Gozy, Consul, Kufu, you know what I'm saying? Ump was there. And then it's me and Sid, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, if y'all familiar with Cameron, they call him, used to call go by Cameron. He a straight legend in the community. Okay, okay. Atlantic Voyage of the predecessor of Mansa Musa. In 32, in 1324, while staying in Cairo during his Hajj, Mansa Musa, the ruler of the Mali Empire, told an Egyptian official who he had befriended that he had come to rule when his predecessor led a large fleet in an attempt to cross the Atlantic Ocean and never returned. This account, accorded by the Arab historian al-Umari, has attracted considerable interest and speculation as possible instance of pre-Columbian transoceanic contact. The voyage is popularly, look, watch this. The voyage is popularly attributed to Mansa Abu Bakr II, but no such Mansa ever reigned. There was never a Mansa named Abu Bakr II. Let y'all know that. That's what Ivan Versertima said in his book. It had a picture of the dude with the turban and everything. But nah, it was never a king. It was some Abu Bakr. I'm gonna show y'all the family tree of the Kieta dynasty. You know what I'm saying? Short enough from Sanjata Kieta. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, we know Sanjata Kieta from the epic Sanjata Kieta epic story. I got this too. He talk about a lot about this too in this book. He talk a lot about Sanjata Kieta in his African Dominion book. But I got the T Diani, the T Diani edition of the story. And Michael Gomez in this book, he quotes a lot of DT Niani. You know what I'm saying? DT Niani is a Malayan scholar. And he also was the if y'all familiar with the General History of Africa by UNESCO, mm, he actually was in here. I forgot what volume it was. It's probably I think volume 4 of because it got that book got like 8 volumes. It got more. We got more volumes. We got added on volumes, like new editions. But the original 8 volumes, I think he wrote edition 4. He was the head author of that particular book, like the head editor. So I can go back to the family tree all the way to Sanjata. We're gonna try to figure out who was this Abu Bakr who I thought he was. Look, rather rather the voyage is inferred to have been undertaken by Mansa Muhammad ibn Ku. Mansa Muhammad ibn Ku is the actual Mansa that ruled before Mansa Musa. We know that. Abu Bakr II never existed. He never was the Mansa before Abu Bakr. Remember, the Mansa have to rule. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put it into context though. We're gonna put that into the proper context. I'm gonna let y'all see who Mansa Musa Ibn Ku is just real quick. I don't know where I don't know where I even got the story from. I don't even know where his source from. We have to find his source. We have to dig into that. But look, but Ibn Ku, say Atlantic Ocean disputed. Hold on, let me let this dog go quick. Come on. Okay, say Ibn Ku, 14th century, was the 8th Mansa of Mali Empire. He succeeded by his father Mansa Ku, who and the predecessor of Mali's most famous ruler, Mansa Musa. And it say the exact dates of Mansa Ibn Ku's reign are not known with certainty, though his reign was certainly brief. You know, it was a brief run. Even his father had a sort of a brief run. Because even before, because you see right here it say Mansa Ku, his father ruled, you know what I'm saying, after it was an upsurber. It was a dude who upsurged the throne. You know, and Mansa Ku, who is the son of Sanjeta y'all know the Sanjeta, who was the founder of the Mali Empire, of the Mali Empire and the Kieta dynasty. Sanjeta's sister, Kolukan, is the mother of Mansa Ku. So he's the nephew. So Mansa Ku is the nephew of Sanjeta. Yeah, he the nephew of Sanjata, yo. You know what I'm saying? Let me say right here, even say the exact dates of Ibn Ku are not known with certainty, though his reign was certainly brief. His father's predecessor, Sakura, was killed at some point between 1298 and 1308. And they say, and his successor, Musa, took the throne in 1307 and 1312, or 1312. You know, so they go back and forth with that. You know, but it's a close. You know, it's all postulated. And they say Musa said that his predecessor, whom he did not successfully name, disappeared, leading the expedition into the Atlantic Ocean. And most likely they died. They most likely died in the Atlantic Ocean. You know what I'm saying? They came across current. We're gonna get into that too. You know what I'm saying? To the source, say Factious Xavier, the Sultan of the Sea, the Golden Rhino. Oh yeah, I read this book. I got this book in one of my apps, the Golden Rhinoceros, Histories of African Middle Ages. That's a good book. You know what I'm saying? The Golden Rhino. If y'all ever get to the chance, get that book, The Golden Rhinoceros. That's a good book. That's a good history book on like medieval Africa. Okay, and it's a precise date for the suggested voyage is not known, though it is interpreted as having occurred shortly before 1312, the year Musa referred to have become Mansa. No clear evidence of the fate of the voyage have been found. So we know Abu Bakr wasn't the Mansa. Abu Bakr II. Abu Bakr II didn't even exist. You know what I'm saying? The king, the Mansa before Musa was Mansa Mansa Muhammad ibn Ku. And Ku, you know what I'm saying? Ku made this voyage, but he probably didn't even go that far. We're gonna show you why. You know what I'm saying? Because these dudes in riverboats, yo. They're not in sailboats. They don't have no high level, navigation like the Portuguese got from, the Portuguese got a lot of stuff from the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? The Arabs used to, like the Arabs, because like the Arabs and the Berbers, the Amazigh ruled Spain. You know what I'm saying? So the Portuguese and Spanish, they like, especially the Portuguese. The Portuguese were like top, the top, boat builders at a time. But they got a lot of their knowledge from uh from the Arabs. The Arabs had boats and sails, and they also use sails for like and they use navigation of the stars to travel through the deserts. So they use that as navigation for the water too. And also, along the line, all of that come down the line from the Greeks. The Arabs studied the Greeks, and the Arabs studied the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians and the Greeks. The Phoenicians are Semitic people too, and they were also, saying fantastic salesmen, but sailors. But the Africans, like the West Africans, like even though you did have certain groups like the crew people, they sailed alongside. They used to ride in boats, but they weren't like super sail. You know what I'm saying? They had like these like river type boats. You know what I'm saying? Wood boats. But the crew people would like they'll be alongside like like the African coast, but not like too far out. They'll be on the African coast. Even if Ibn Ku did go out into the Atlantic Ocean, he didn't make it that far, yo. Not no river boats that's used to, you know what I'm saying, just going and riding along the Niger River. Hold on, let me get into. Hold on. Hold on, let the damn dollars back in. Hold on. Come on. All right, man. Let's get into it. Moose's account. We got more to read to. We didn't even get into the book. We just on Wiki, yo. We just on the Wiki right now. We didn't even get into the book yet. And I'm gonna open up the panel too. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see what people feedback is. I'm gonna open up a panel too. See, not right now, but you know what I'm saying, when I get a little long discussion, I'm gonna open up a panel. But let me, so I'm just want to build on this right now. And they say Moose's account. Mansa Musa stayed in Cairo for 3 months in 1324. And that's why I get into the book. The book on like Michael Gomez, he really go into it. It's just the wiki. And they say Mansa Musa stayed in Cairo for 3 months in 1324 while en route to Mecca for the Hajj. While there he befriended an emir named Abu al-Hasan Ali ibn Amir Hajjaj, who was the governor of the district of Cairo Musa was staying in. Ibn Amir Hajjaj later recounted to the scholar Al-Amari what he had learned of Mali from his conversation with Musa. In one such conversation, Ibn Amir Hajjaj had asked Musa how he had become king, and Musa responded. And it said, watch this, like this is what y'all gotta really read into, you know what I'm saying, get into these letters to the, and he said, this is the evidence, like this right here is basically the primary evidence of this whole thing, you know what I'm saying, of this whole claim is based off of this response, of this, the letter that that was written by, that was reported by Al Amari. And it say he belonged to a house which hands on the kingship by inheritance. The king who was my predecessor did not believe that it was impossible to discover the furthest limit of the Atlantic Ocean. So they don't know, they just curious. They don't even know the limits of the Atlantic Ocean at all. Shit, the limits to them could be fucking just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The Atlantic Ocean is big as fuck, and it's the most violent. It's the most violent ocean. Like the Atlantic Ocean is the most violent ocean. Like hurricanes, currents, all of that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very like even during the time, but later on time of sails with the Portuguese, Spanish, and European sailing, all that. Them people had to be real careful in navigational and coordinates before they even go to a certain area. You know what I'm saying? It's real technical. Like that sailing shit ain't easy, yo. Let me say, okay, it said the king who was my predecessor did not believe that it was impossible to discover the furthest limit of the Atlantic Ocean and wished vehemently to do so. So he equipped 200 ships filled with men and the same number equipped with gold, water, and provisions enough to last them for years, and said to the man deputed to lead them, do not return until you reach the end of it, or the provision of water give out. They imparted on a long time past before anyone came back. Then one ship returned, and he asked the captain what news they brought. He said, "Yes, O Sultan, we traveled for a long time until there appeared in the ocean sea, as it were a river with a powerful current." So they call the current a river, like in the middle of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? It's like a river tides and all that shit. And they say, mine was the last of those ships. So the first ship, a lot of them dudes died. And they say the other ships went on ahead, but when they reached the place, they did not return, and no one was seen of them, and we do not know what became of them. As for me, I went about at once and did not enter that river. But the Sultan disbelieved him. Then the Sultan got ready 2,000 ships. Of course, this shit is over exaggerated. These motherfuckers didn't have no 2,000, made no 2,000 ships. 2,000 ships, uh, 1,000 for himself and the men whom he took with him, and 1,000 for water and provisions. He left me in reputized for him and impart the Atlantic Ocean with his men. And then at last we saw him and all of those who were with him. And so I became king in my own right. And say Al Umari's record of this conversation is only account of this voyage, as is not mentioned by other medieval Arab historians or West African oracle tradition. Nonetheless, the possibility of such voyage has been taken seriously by several historians. You know, they made a voyage. They probably died when they got to them damn rivers and currents and shit. Never returned again. Them niggas sunk in them damn river boats. And they probably weren't even 2,000. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like about 20 of them. Like 20 of them said. We gotta know they. they got a stunt, you know what I'm saying? And Mansa Musa was a big stunner, yo. Like if you read this Gomez book, this African Dominion book, he got a nice little piece about Musa. Like he really dig into who Musa is, like his time, who he would have, you know what I'm saying, what he would have known about. Right here, look, this is where it get good. It say the identity of the Mansa responsible for the voyages has been subject to some confusion. Al-Umari record of Musa's account does not mention Mansa's name, given no indication of his identity other than that he was Musa's predecessors. According to Arab historians, Ibn Khaldun, writing several decades later, Musa's predecessors as Mansa was Muhammad ibn Qu. As such, several historians have attributed the voyage in Mansa's Muhammad. You know, Mansa Muhammad Qu. And they say many sources call the Mansa in question Abu Bakr II. However, the conclusion of the Mansa is on this. Maybe this is going into where Ivan got his shit from. But it say, however, the conclusion of Mansa Abu Bakr II in the list of Malayan rulers is an error that originated in a mistranslation by Ibn al-Khaldun text by the 19th century European historian Baron E. Slain. So Ivan Ben Sertima, wherever he got his source from, he got it from a mistranslation from a 19th century European historian, Baron de Slain. So Baron de Slain fucked up. You know what I'm saying? He fucked it up. This dude right here, he fucked up the translation. This Irish dude, what is it? William McGricken, known as Baron de Slain, was an Irish Orientalist and became French national. Yeah, he fucked it up. And they say the slang translated Ibn Khaldun as saying that the kingship passed from Muhammad to Abu Bakr, then to Musa. However, the original Arabic text, Abu Bakr is only mentioned in his role as progenitor of Musa's lineage. We're gonna get into that. The progenitor of Musa's lineage, not his successor. And it say not as a ruler. And it say not as a ruler. He didn't rule. It say the Abu Bakr in question was the brother of Sanjata, the founder of the Mali Empire, and apparently never himself ruled. Another figure named Abu Bakr did rule as Musa, but he was the predecessor of Sakura, not Musa. And it say, additionally, some historians have suggested without elaboration that the voyage should be attributed to Mansa Ku, who was the father of the predecessor of Muhammad ibn Ku, according to Ibn Khaldun. And they say, see, look right here. Let's get into this little family tree. Y'all see this little family tree right here? You see right here, it say, Magan Fanfata, that's the father of Sanjeta. That's the father of Sanjeta. If y'all are familiar with the epic tale of, the epic tale of Sanjeta, it's a good story. It's a good epic. It's a good epic. You know what I'm saying? Damn near better than the Game of Thrones if you read it. It's just like Game of Thrones. It's that real medieval shit, but it's just a West African scenery. You know what I'm saying? And they say, Mary Jetta, Sunjeta, you know what I'm saying? That's Sunjeta right here, the founder of the Mali Empire or the Kieta dynasty. Then he had a brother. His brother was Abu Bakr, also known as Mandi Bari. Sometimes that you read certain books, they call him Mandi Bari in certain tales. And he had a son, down the line. He had a descendant down, or a son down the line, Fagalaya. And Fagalaya is the father of Mansa Musa, Kanku Musa. So, Mansa Musa was a grandson of was the grandson of Sanjeta's, brother. So Sanjeta would be like a great uncle to Musa. And this Abu Bakr didn't rule. He didn't rule. He was just his brother. He didn't rule as no Mansa. He was just his brother. So you can't call him no Mansa or Mansa the second. No, nothing. It was no Mansa the second. It was, and then it's just his name was just Abu Bakr. He didn't rule, so he can't have no second. And then you did have a king who did rule, who was from a daughter, who was descendant of a daughter from Sanjeta, which is Abu Bakr, Bata Mandi Bari. So who he actually is. So yeah, who he is. Man. The Abu Bakr Mansa, known as Bata Mandi Bari, in Oracle tradition was the fifth Mansa of the Mali Empire, reigning during the 13th century. He was the son of a daughter of Sanjeta and the founder of the Mali Empire, and may have been adopted by Sanjeta as a son. Abu Bakr succeeded Khalifa, a tyrant who was deposed after a brief reign. Abu Bakr was first Mansa first Mansa of the Mali Empire to succeed through the female line. It remains debated whether Abu Bakr's succession marked a return to tradition pattern succession that had been ignored by his predecessor, of which was the break from traditional succession caused by political instability. After an unremarkable reign, Abu Bakr was succeeded by Sakura, an enslaved court official who seized the throne in a coup. So, Sakura was an upserver. You know what I'm saying? He went on a Hajj and everything, not cool, but Sakura right here, he went on a Hajj and everything. You know what I'm saying? He observed the throne. He's from a slave lineage, a servant lineage. Soon as his ass came back from that Hajj, they killed his ass. Put the right, Sajeda family in. Even they get into it right here, identity. Look, identity. It's the Abu Bakr page. Identity. Cause he ain't no Abu. He Abu Bakr the first. He ain't no Abu Bakr the second. And he ain't got nothing to do. He don't got nothing to do with no Atlantic voyage, none of that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? His story don't got shit to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was a mistake. And they say the identities of the two figures named Abu Bakr mentioned in Ibn Khaldun's History of Mali, and the figures in oral tradition named Mandi Bari. This is the grand. Mandi Bari is the Abu Bakr. This the brother of Sanjeta we was talking about, the grandfather Musa. And they say, and Bata Mandi Bari have been subject to some confusion. According to oral tradition, Sanjeta had a brother named Mandi Bari. Some traditions also claim had a son named Bata Mandi Bari, who this son is not mentioned in all traditions. The word Bata suggests that Bata Mandibari was not a biological son of Sanjeta and was rather related to him through a female line, though he may have been adopted by Sanjeta. So the Bata Mandibari, this the Abu Bakr we talking about, who was the, he ruled as a Mansa, but he was from a daughter Sanjeta. He wasn't the king. He the fifth Mansa. So he wasn't the successor, or he wasn't the predecessor of Mansa Musa, the direct predecessor. Like a few Mansas ruled before he even did. And they say, after he did, before you even get to Mansa Musa. And they say Ibn Khaldun mentioned two figures named Abu Bakr. The first is a son of Sanjeta's daughter who reigned as Mansa between Khalifa and Sakura. That's the one we on right now. And the second is a brother of Sanjeta who was the ancestor of Mansa Musa. He didn't rule, he just was the brother. Mansa Musa, the throne fell to him. You know what I'm saying? He from a nephew, from a nephew lineage. And they say the confusion arose from the mistranslation. We talk about this mistranslation. The 19th century historian Baron Deslain. Deslain interpreted the second Abu Bakr as being the son of Sanjeta's sister, and believed he reigned as Mansa between Muhammad and Musa. In 1959, Jibril Tasmir Nayami, a Ghanaian historian, playwright, identified. This DT, yeah, this DT right here. This is his full name. You know what I'm saying? Jibril Tamzir Niami. That's the dude. It's DT. You know what I'm saying? DT Niami. You know what I'm saying? He the editor of the UNESCO portion where they talk about the Mali Empire. I think that's volume 4, I believe. And they say identified Mandi Bari with the first Abu Bakr, and Bata Mandi Bari, the second Bakr. The confusion was resolved in 1963 by Nehemiah Levinzian, some Jew. Nehemiah, yeah, he a Jew, who studied the original manuscripts and realized that the translation had been made. The first Abu Bakr who reigned between Khalifa and Sakura was a son of Sanjeta's daughter and should be identified with Bata Madibara. The second Abu Bakr who did not reign was Mansa, and the only mentioned by Ibn Khaldun as progenitor of Musa's lineage was Sanjeta's brother and should be identified with Mandi Bari. As the slang's mistranslations led to belief that the figure named Abu Bakr was Mansa's immediate predecessor, the name Abu Bakr II became associated with Mansa's statement that his predecessor launched 2 expeditions to explore Atlantic Ocean. Musa's predecessor, thus the likely subject of the incident was actually Muhammad ibn Qu. Yeah, peace to the chat. What's up with it, y'all? Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's get back to this part. Now we're finna get into, hold on, oh shit, too far. Okay, now we're gonna get into interpretation. Let's get into the interpretation of that letter. Yeah, let's get into the interpretation. Then we're gonna get into the Michael Gomez book, and then I'm gonna open the panels up. Y'all want to build, and they say It's a no uncontroversial evidence. Look, it's no uncontroversial evidence of pre-Columbian contact between Africa and Americas has ever been found. Let me see where that source. It's 22. Where that source come from? No, it's a Viria Haslab Ortez Isolonian. They say regardless of whether any of the Malayan ships ever reached the Americas, they apparently never returned to Africa, and there were not any long-term economic consequences of the voyage. So even if they did, them niggas was marooned or something, or died or some shit, or motherfucking Native Americans and headhunted their ass or some shit. Made them motherfuckers some African shrunken heads or something. I don't know. And it say the river on the sea. It said the river on the sea, you know what I'm saying, what they talk about in the letter from Al and Maury. It say the river on the sea described by the survivor of the first expedition was presumably the Canary Current. Just the Canary Current, y'all. So the Canary Current is a wind-driven surface current that is part of the North Atlantic gyre. This eastern boundary current branches south from the North Atlantic current and flows southwest about as far as Senegal, where it turns west and later joins the Atlantic North equatorial. You know what I'm saying? That's where I hear to see the little map. Saying the current would have died, nigga would have died going into that shit. Look at that. Some river boats, yo. Niggas would have been toe up in that shit. Toe up in them Niger River ships. And they say the conclusion of this fact in Moose's account indicates that Moose had some awareness of the oceanographic conditions of the open Atlantic. You know, this probably people went out there or not. Nobody didn't make it that far. They say the Canary Current flows from West Africa to the Americas, which would have facilitated travel from Africa to Americas, but prevented it in the opposite direction. Say Ivan Van Sertima and Malayan researcher Gozu Dawara proposed that the voyage reached the New World. Van Sertima cites that the abstract of Columbus long made by Bartholomew de Casa. And he and the Begali, see, he got this even wrong. Van Sertima got this wrong by Bartholomew. Bartholomew de Casa, according to which the purpose of Columbus' third voyage was to test both the claims of King John II of Portugal that canoes had been found which set out from the coast of Guinea, West Africa, and sailed to the west from the merchandise, and was well as claims of the native inhabitants of the Caribbean island Hispaniola informed the south and southeast had come Black people whose spirits were made of metal called Ghanaian, which it was found that 32 parts, 18 were gold, 6 were silver, and 8. See, even this Ghanaian stuff, and they weren't even talking about Africans. When they said Black people, Black people whose spirit, they talking about Caribs, yo. Talking about Carib Indians, Carib natives. You know, you had Arawaks and you had Caribs. The Caribs were vile. That them motherfuckers was violent, bro. They didn't give a fuck. They used to terrorize the Arawaks. You know what I'm saying? So they called them Black. They used to paint their face black. See, even right here, the Ghanaian This alloy. This ain't even no African alloy, yo. See, Ghanaian, look at the Ghanaian, Ghanaian. Ghanaian ain't even, it's not even African gold, yo. African gold is solid. It's not even the gold. Look, the gold in America wasn't even solid gold, yo. It wasn't even our gold. It wasn't our gold. The gold dust from Mali. This wasn't that solid, that pure coke that we had. This shit was cut up. Look, this the Native American. Look, Ghanaian is an alloy of copper, gold, and silver, similar to red gold, used in pre-Columbian Central America. The red gold, red gold. That's from the Americas too. You know what I'm saying? Colored gold. And they say used in pre-Columbian Central America. The name Ghanaian is taken from the language of the Taino people or the Arawaks. You know what I'm saying? The Tainos are just Arawaks who live on the highlands. And they say who prize it for its reddish color, brilliant shine, and unique smell, and associated with both worldly and supernatural power. It was also known as Tagawa in South America in Tumulus. See, this ain't even African. They just got the name like, oh, that's Ghanaian, that's Guinea or something. Nah, bro. No. See what I'm saying? This ain't even that same shit. Ghanaian composed of copper, gold, Spanish samples sent them by Columbus. Ain't even no African gold, yo. See, look right here, it say the South. Look, say General to Bartholomew made during the third voyage relates to Columbus heard returns to local peoples. There had come Hispaniola, the South and Southeast, a black people who have tops of their spears made of metal, which called and he ain't talking about no black people, like he talking about Caribs, yeah. So yeah, the Caribs and the town, they come from South America. The island Native Americans in the Caribbeans, they got to the islands by way of South America, mainland South America. The other people that's on the coast of the areas, they related to them same people. They even speak a similar, language family. See, the Caribs are actually called the Kalina. The Kalina. The Caribs are actually the Kalina. That's the actual name. Colonization. Yeah, these motherfuckers. Yeah, they was enemies like Airwax, they ops, like for real. Say culture. Mm. Saying somewhere it's talking about the relationship they had with Europeans. It was a little bit more violent, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't as peaceful the Caribs wasn't as peaceful as the Arawaks was. Yeah, let's get back to the main topic real quick. Let's get down to business. And they say, however, scholars dispute evidence of any such voyage reaching Americas, and that there are insignificant evidentiary grounds to suppose there has been contact between Africa and the New World at any point in pre-Columbian era. Haslep Viria noted in particular that no genuine African artifact has ever been found in controlled archaeological excavation in the New World. Carl Tomei, a professor of UC Riverside, specializing in pre-Columbian Mesoamerican history, writes there is no material evidence of any pre-Hispanic contact between the Old World and Mesoamerica between arrival of Spanish in the 16th century. Okay. And it said Mansa Musa himself appeared to have considered his predecessors' plan to be impractical. The main point he appears to have been trying to make to Ibn Amir Hijab is that his predecessor's failed voyage paved the way for his becoming king. Likewise, it has been speculated that the lack of information of the oral tradition about the voyage reflects a view that Mansa's voyage has a shameful abduction of duty. In modern times, the voyage has become more celebrated. The Malayan historian Gaza Nawara has remarked that the Mansa should be looked up at by politicians as an example of ruler who values science and discovery over holding onto power. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? that ain't the consensus. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get into the book, y'all. Get into the book. See what Michael Gomez say, you know, about the early book. You know, Michael Gomez, same book I was just holding up. Man, African Dominion. Yeah. A new history of empire in early and medieval West Africa. This book is good, yo. He breaks it up in three parts. You got a part where you break down like we're really full, like the four, but the first part is kind of short, but you guys kind of break down like the prehistory of West medieval Africa, West Africa. We go into Gal, we go into uh you ever heard of Kaka and Gal? It's the same place. You talk about Gal, you talk about Ghana or Ouagadougou, and then he gets into some the Sinjata epic, and he do a whole thing on Mali, and the last part of it is about Sangha. We gotta go to page 100. It's on page 100, yeah. What page is this? There we go. We almost there. Shit. There we go. Age 100. Here we go. Load up just a little bit. Here we go. And they say on Molly's fabled transatlantic voyage, an assessment. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into this, and then I'm gonna open the panels up after we get into this. After what Michael Goldman. Let me need some water. Some water right. Let's get into it, yo. And they say, according to Ibn Khaldun, so we was just talking about Ibn Khaldun. So see, Gomez be on point. You know, Michael Gomez be on point. It said, according to Ibn Khaldun, Ku succeeds Sakura. You know, and this Ku is the father of Ibn Ku. And this Ku, to know the difference, you got two Kus. You got Ku, Mansa Ku, and you have Mansa Muhammad Ibn Ku, who the one supposedly took the voyage, or the I'm gonna say the unsuccessful voyage. These motherfuckers had to die. Motherfuckers had to die at that motherfucking current river shit. And they 20 boats. And then but to know the difference, Mansa Ku, the first Mansa Ku, they just call him Gal or Mansa Gal. If in some lists you might see him as Gal. And they say, according to Ibn Khaldun, Ku succeeds Sakura, who's an observer, followed by his son, Muhammad Ibn Ku, with Ku represented as either a son or grandson of Sanjeta. Ku is referred to as Gal in oral traditions, and has an alleged son of Sanjeta, I'm sorry, and as an alleged son of Sanjeta, the thorny issue of the fiction arrangement loots here. Assuming Sakura was actually in office was actually in office, and Mansa Musa succeeds in 1312, because in his book, in his Michael Goldman's book, he uses the Arabic history line and the actual history line that we know of. He's because these people were in the Arabic, Mali was part of the Islamic world, yo. Believe it or not, West Africa, in medieval West Africa, was part of the Islamic world, yo. It was just his own version, this section of kind of like the Roman Empire. It's like it was part of the golden age of Islam. It was part of that. It contributed to that golden age of Islam. West Africa did. Let me say, okay. Sakura was actually in office, and Mansa Musa succeeds in 1312. The time of Ku and his son Muhammad's collection range would have been brief. Even so, Ibn Khaldun's apparent lack of interest in them is curious, if not stunning, given Al-Umari account of critical project joint tenure in its relationship to Mansa Musa's meteoric rise. And say Ku's assumption of power and would signal the end of the further contestation of succession by the Donson Tone as throne who be occupied by individuals related to Sanjeta for many years to come. The apparent dominion, I mean domination, the apparent domination in the hunters' influence was reversingly pro proportionate to new variable in the calculus of Malayan political power and succession. The growing influence of merchants and religious elites from North Africa and Central Islamic lands. Coups, coups, let's say, okay, coups, intro, entrancation was not, however, the end of intrigue. Ibn Khaldun presents Mansa Musa as the son of Mandin Bukhari or Mandin Bari or Abu Bakr I, Sanjeta's younger brother, as does the Syrian historian of the Mamelukes period, Ibn Kathar, 1374, referring to him as al-Malik al-Sharik Musa and Abu Bakr, or the king, and Sublime Musa, son of Abu Bakr. Ibn Kathar hindering is based on information gathered during the Musa stay in Cairo, which names Musa's uh, representation himself as Mandin Bukhara's son, while there, whereas certain of the traditions state Musa as actually the grandson, that's what we were just talking about, the grandson of Ibn Bukhari, which is, Ibn Mandi Bukhari. Mandi Bukhari is, Abu Bakr. It's just the Mandi, version of it. They pronounce it Bukhari. Through the son, through Sanfaga Laya. We just talked, we've seen it, which is the father of Mansa Musa. Whether the son or grandson, power clearly shifts within the worldless camp from those claiming to be direct descendants of Sanjata to those claiming descendants from Mandin Bukhari. This could have been one result of Sakura's mighty reign, rapturing the fractious negotiation of power between hunters and royalists. They say it is Mansa Musa himself who affords an important window into the aristocratic shift. While in Cairo, he was asked by the governor of Old Cairo, Abu al-Hassan Albin Emir Hajab, how he came to power, and he replied follows. It's the ooh, who's the page? Oh shit. Too damn for damn. Too far. What the hell for that? Sure. Here we go. Oh, shit. All right, here we go. Back on track, y'all. Damn. All right, keep jumping. Damn, babe. Here we go. Okay. And say how he became how he became to power, and he replied as follows. A king who was my predecessor did not believe that it was impossible to discover the furthest limit of the Atlantic Ocean and wished to vehemently to do so. He, we know the whole thing. We read the whole thing. We know, read it in the wiki. The same exact thing. 2,000 ships, 1,000. So it's according by Al Amari, the count merits further consideration. Musa seems to intimidate to immediate such a plan resides in the realm of uh uh fan, fanta, fan, fantas, fan, fantasical that fantastical mean that in the realm of the fantastical that Ibn al-Kul or even Kul as as will be explained was unrealistic if not irrational, dismissing the import of the initial expedition lone survivor, taking uh, a foolhardy gamble. He suffered the consequences that Musa uh, ascended ascension the consequences, but both the question and Musa's Arthur convoy and atmosphere of crisis of matters unfolding unexpectedly out of the anticipated sequence. That intrigue and uh, and internet inflict important I mean inflicted informed the secession, drifting power from one royal branch to another, such that Musa's predecessors was never heard from again, cannot be eliminated as distinct possibility that the heightened not only by preceding secession turmoils, but also by Musa's own undertaking of the pilgrimage. The mythical quality of the imperial naval expeditions from Mali through the Atlantic is strengthened by the accounts of absence elsewhere in the source. Such a major undertaking would seemingly have registered elsewhere, leaving an indelible imprint upon the collective imagination. The failure to either Ibn Khaldun or the oral corpus to mention it in their treatment of Kul or Ibn or Muhammad Ibn Kul is very odd, to say the least. The absence of supporting evidence certainly gives pause, but on its own fails to generate skepticism sufficient in completing dismiss the possibility as a corporation for one limit, one element of story derived from ocean graphic studies, and blaming the first voyage failure on a river with powerful current. The survivor seems to refer to as the Canary Current, a year-round movement of water following south along West Africa coast from what is now southern Morocco to Guinea, then westward into the form of the equatorial current to the Gulf of Mexico, where they uh, become Gulf Stream, then back across the Atlantic towards Europe and North and West Africa, its southern branch developing into the Canary Current, renewing the cycle. Some 1,000 kilometers in widen, it would have been difficult to miss. Why or how such an experience with its basis of observable verity would be included in the wholly fabricated story is therefore unclear. The probability that the Canary Current is reinforced strongly suggests it was actual encounter. But even if mythical, to speak of such a voyage reflect a certain uh, aggressiveness to aggressiveness to kind of restless on the part of growing central authority, fueled by unchecked territorial expansion. A vast realm had allegedly been formed under Sakura, reaching from the ocean to Ghana, and west to the land of Tukor in the east. And Al Umari confirms that by time of the Musa Suleiman, Mansa's brother and successor, Mali abjoined the Atlantic Ocean, a claim irradiated irradiated by Ibn Khaldun, who asserted Mali extended to the domains of Ghana as far as ocean on the west. It was through Malayan claim lands, therefore, that tremendous amount of Sahelian commercial activity was reenacted. A term, a term to Atlantic suggests interest in exploring additional commercial operations rather than setting sail simply for the hell of it. Ships ships equipped with gold events, uh, anticipation of contact and transaction. It is not possible that coastal population anywhere in the world could have failed to it at least contemplate venturing into the unknown. West Africans were not different. They were not different as pilgrims. Were not different as pilgrims. Merchants and ambassadors had long developed first-hand knowledge about North Africa and Central Islamic lands. They would also have been aware of Mediterranean world that included Southern Europe, and it's hardly a stretch to imagine that interest in directly accessing those lands by water, with Ibn Said mentioning the seafaring of the Saharan coast and recorded as early as the 13th century. Al Amari records a similar story of maritime commercial ventures headed for Morocco had instead redirected by elements into ocean waste in the south, making landfall and stumbling upon the coastal city uninhibited by population of the Sudan. The foregoing or put a few examples. Surely there were others, but at least two obstacles would have faced the Malayan fleet. First, a Canary current that facilitated navigation from the north, but inhibited it from the south. The second, the second challenge, the challenges of valuable technologies as West Africans uh, propose naval capacity ill-suited for oceanic transport. The watercraft consisting of pararows or boats made of hollowed out trees. To be sure, and according to Al Idris, 12th century Ghana, as well as other Palati, uh, Pilates located along the Senegal River operated the watercraft from upper Senegal to salt mines of Alil off the southern Moroccan coast. But observation of African naval activity never mean naval activity near Senegal and Gambia rivers made by Venetian Alvis, the Casa, the Cas, the Cas, what's that? Cada Mosto in the the 15th, middle of the 15th, uh, uh, indicate ongoing limitations. And they say it was asserted that when their first time West Africans saw sails, that is ships on the sea, they believed they were great seabirds with white wings. Others again said that they were phantoms that went by night, at which they were greatly terrified. They had no ships, nor had they seen any from beginning of the world until they had knowledge of Portuguese. It is true that those who lived on the banks of this river and others along the seacoast had canoes called almadis made from tree trunks. The larger of which carried 3 or 4 men, and these they constantly fished, ferry crossed the river, and paddled from place to place. So they didn't even have no big old boats. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't had no big old boats. Yeah, of course Phoenicians traded with West. I mean, even the Carthaginians were Phoenicians. They traded with West Africa, called the silent trade. And they say, notwithstanding Kada Mosto assumptions about experiences of West Africans since time immemorial, the differential in technologies is on full display here. It was along Gambia River during the same period, and where were cited 3 canoes were called them Zopali. There were about 25 to 30 Negroes in which these remain for whole gazing upon gazing upon a thing which neither they nor their father had ever seen before, that is ships and white men. So West Africans never even seen those sail ships. They thought them was big wings or some shit. They ain't seen it till they seen the Portuguese. They say the Gambian they even had canoes, yo. So they definitely wasn't crossing no Atlantic currents. And they say the Gambian canoes may have been larger than those along the Senegal, but the technical divide remains evident. These challenges would be solved by combining different types of vessels, as well as tacking the Latin sails technology and procedures known to East Africans and other plying Indian Ocean, but apparently unknown to West Africans at the time. Though Mali faced insurmountable odds in which a quest to open new vistas and circumvent overland trade routes, the elaboration of attempting uh, attempting it invents a surging self confidence. Mali was in a moment of dramatic ascendance. Ascent, ascent, ascent was an amount of dramatic ascent. Yeah, there we go. Open up the panel, y'all. Panel real quick. Just open the floor if anyone want to build. Talk about what we talk about tonight. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm a my boy in it. It's good. What's good with it? What's good with it, Sonic? What's good with it, bro? popping, bro? The music sound. Oh shit.
Help me.
My bad. My bad. You got it.
Can you hear me, bro?
I hear you now. Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, bro.
I wanted to say I came in late, but as always, great, great, great job.
Yeah.
Bro, you are awesome. You rarely stream, and I think you're great.
Oh yeah.
If
Right on, bro.
anyone watched from the start, please, please hit the link
Yeah.
because you barely get Gala, and he is a gem in the community. Stop watching entertainment and get informed.
Hey, did you see my interview with BR, bro?
I saw some of it, but I didn't get to watch a whole of it because I've been busy with work for the most part.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, my work is very, very intensive, and I don't know how to say it. For those that don't know, I am a technical analyst for a government job. So therefore, I'm pretty busy for the most part.
Oh yeah.
However, when you stream Gala, I think you're awesome. It's very late. I had to run from my bed all the way down to the basement in order to make sure that I hit the link and tell people, hit the link, man, and take advantage of Gala right now. Please.
Yeah, I was getting in on the, you know, Abu Bakr the second didn't even exist, yo. It was a mistranslation from the dude name. Baron Deslain. Mistranslation from him. It was like the actual Ibn Bukhari was the grandfather of Mansa Musa. And you had another one who was a Mansa, but he was like, no, but Mansa Musa grandfather, he wouldn't have been the Mansa, he wouldn't have ruled. He just would have been the brother of Sanjata Kieta, you know what I'm saying, who was actually the ruler. He was like like an uncle lineage or whatever.
Yeah.
But the other the actual Mansa Bukhari the first who actually ruled, he was like a king that was from a daughter lineage of Sanjeta. He never and it had his story had nothing to do with some type of voyage. Whoever would have made or some type of attempt of a voyage and some type would have had to been riverboats uh was Ibn Ku. The story was a little bit over exaggerated too.
Yeah. As always.
Yeah, to on 2,000, 1,000 boats or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Even like I like how Michael Gomez even broke down in his book that even during when the Portuguese came to the West African people, they never seen a sail in their life. Like, they like, what the fuck is that? These are like big wings or some type of phantoms in the night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn Portuguese, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it true that they were the first ones to try to colonize Africa?
Uh, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess like doing like I guess for you we talk about like post like medieval,
Yeah.
European. Yeah.
They
I mean,
came with the boats.
yeah, because even like if you think about like Greeks and shit, they Europeans, but they colonized parts of Africa anyway before all that. But like yeah, before like the medieval period, you know, Portuguese like they were trying to like take over West Africa.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
the Greeks were North Africa, right? Originally?
you said Greeks?
Yeah.
No,
You said
no, no. Greeks come from southern Europe.
no, no, Southern Europe, but the colonization part.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some of them do. I mean, like it depends though. Like Greeks are Indo-Europeans.
Yeah, but the colonization part They would have been the first to try to colonize or
Oh
take
yeah,
over,
North.
like,
Oh yeah, North Africa. North
yeah,
Africa.
and yeah. But I'm gonna say this: you are a freaking gem. You stream once a week. Why? I've said this before, and I'm gonna say this right now. Why are the clowns who are misinformed streaming 5, 7 times a week, misinforming the community, and then you, who is a gem, who is busy with family life, we only get once a week if possible, and we have to cheer. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go be. I'm gonna have to at least do three. I gotta find like do it like a little niche or something. Talk about something different. Each one is something different.
Can I recommend something, bro?
Yeah.
If you gotta do, if you are able to, because the family, to stream multiple streams, hold on. You sound like a culture vulture. You're Sarah. Bro, let me turn to you. Okay, I want you to explain this. How am I a culture vulture? I'm East African born. I speak my native language. I grew up in Canada. I speak English that way. I'm not even from America, okay?
Yeah.
Please tell me,
What he talking?
what am I culture of vulture of as a person? Okay? Let me explain myself for people. I'm East African born. I speak my native language. I have my culture. In Canada, which is a Western country, I align myself with the African American community. Why? Because I love their history and their culture. So, what have I chosen for myself is to learn from the African American community. So, how am I a culture vulture? I speak a European language, which is English. I speak my native language, which is Somali. Who am I?
What
Like,
order? What article you
who?
talking about?
Yeah, what the hell are you talking
Pull up,
about?
pull up the article tracing the route of modern humans out of Africa by using what 22.5 human genome sequences from Ethiopia. What the fuck they got to do with anything? We ain't talking about that on. We ain't right. We ain't on that. What you talking about?
Bro, okay. I'm gonna say this color, bro. His name is Sarah. Okay, Sarah.
We trying to be Egyptian or something?
Yeah, you trying to be Egyptian. Let me say this to you right now. As an East African, the word Ra would be pronounced Rah to me, which is Qorah to me, which just means the sun, which in Egyptian mean Ra, which probably is Rah, which means sun god or whatever the deity is.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's not conflate things. If you want to go into the depth of the sea, you're outmatched on this. And I'm sitting here at the feet of Gala because I think he's a teacher to me. Sarah, you're outmatched on this, bro. Like, oh, I see Gala as my teacher, as an East African born who grew up in Canada. I don't know where you're from, but you're outmatched on this because
I don't
if
even
I
know.
see Gala as my teacher, what the hell are you talking about?
I don't even know what he talking about. Pull up. What he talking? I don't even know what article he talking about.
The thing is, you read so much that if you're asking that question, I have to like go to the corner, turn off the mic, and laugh. Hold on, let me do this.
The article.
Astro is right. All Afro-Asiatic languages have some words. Astro, you are right. I'm gonna say this. Can I say this to Astro? Astro, I learned this recently. Amharic, which is the language of so-called Jesus, if he ever existed. God is Ilah. Arabic should be the same thing, but in my language, when we say God, we say Ilah. When we say my God, we say Ilahi. We match Aramaic, which is an Afro-Asiatic language. But the thing is, we're not even talking about this right now. I really want to come in here and talk about the rest of Africa because when Gullah speaks about certain things, this is why I follow him. He
Yeah,
leaves Egypt and he talks about the rest of Africa.
bro, he bringing the Egypt shit over here, man.
Bro, Gullah, do you know I got to appreciate you when you started talking about other stuff other than Egypt. That's why I'm like, that's my brother right there. You have to see this. Like,
I already beat up.
uh,
I beat up Egypt already too many times.
you don't need to go back to it. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you speak of Central and West Africa, I'm learning. I don't want to go back to what everyone else is fighting about, what everyone else is being pseudo about, what everyone else wants to
If,
feel good
if
about.
I do go back to Egypt, it's gonna be more centralized around Sudan.
But well, I'm gonna leave that conversation what they're talking about. But Gala, I'm gonna go back to what you were saying before. As a gamer and the social media point of view, I'm gonna say this to you. When you say if you can stream more than once a week, one of the streams I wanted it to be about is this. I want you to cover what other people are covering, which is mostly Egyptomaniac and other stuff.
Yeah,
Summarize it and give the objective truth to it, and then move on to what you're gonna teach. So if you give a
yeah,
show to that, or if you have one show a week, at the beginning you can cover what people were fighting about during the week, give the objective truth to that, the history to that, and then move on to teaching us. So you can summarize and say, this is what they're fighting about, this is what the truth is. Now let's move on to something else.
yeah. I can do that. Yeah, I'm gonna
So
do that. What's been
so
what people I've been kind of out. What people been on lately? They still been on the language. What they been on? Like,
bro, can I be honest with you, Gala? I stopped watching and I went to my work and I said, what do I have to do to grow? And they gave me courses and I'm taking those courses.
yeah, yeah,
So instead of like at nighttime when my family will go to sleep, instead of watching people who are arguing about Egypt, I'm literally online taking courses.
yeah. That's what I'm finna do. I'm finna go back to school. I'm gonna take up a trade. I'm either finna go to school for doing some electrician, or I'm probably finna go to school to be a diesel mechanic, something
You know,
like that.
I highly recommend that. I'm back in school for like I don't want to say what I took school in, but the thing is I do got a degree or two. But I don't want to share that because I don't want people to be disrespectful and think that people who have degrees are smarter than people who don't have degrees. Because the thing is, people who don't have degrees are just as smart. Um, I went for, let's say, the social sciences before. Right now, through my job, I'm going for the, let's say the AI technology that's going on,
Yeah,
and the Microsoft 365 teachings that are going on schools. That's what I'm getting a degree on. Yo, Sarah, hit the link, man.
why you want me to pull this article? What's up with this article, man?
Hit the link, my brother. Culture Vulture,
I just,
Sarah,
I just
when we
pulled.
spoke,
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now from the shirt.
yeah, share it and speak on it. But Sarah, when we spoke in chat, you said, my brother. Yes, you are my brother. Hit the link. Hit the link. All Afro-Asiatic languages have a same root words. Astro, yes. When me and Astro speak, we're from different places, but we speak Afro-Asiatic languages. We understand each other. Like, Sarah, hit the link, please, my brother. Hold on. Are Cushitic parents like the Dinka people? No, we're not. I'm Cushitic. Dinka are not the same people. But the thing is, I have proto, how do I say this? Nilotic
Yeah,
genetics, who's
yeah.
ancient Dinka.
They two different. They two different extremes, but they overlap in cultures
Thank
sometimes.
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
In like a Cushitic dude, a Cushitic person might have a Nilo-Saharan ancestor, something like that, like in the marriage. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Gala's right. I do have, like, for example, I'm Cushitic person, but I do have a Nilo-Saharan ancestor. So the thing is, I have Nilo-Saharan genetics and Cushitic genetics. But the
Yeah.
thing,
Cushitic people and Nilo-Saharan people have been neighbors since the fucking Heliocene
so that's my mix.
period.
Gala's right. That's my mix. I'm not Dinka. However, their ancestors and I mix at some point. My paternal line might be Cushitic and from whatever the North Africa. However, my maternal line is Nilo-Saharan.
Yeah.
We are family,
Are your paternal
not the
link?
same.
You got a B marker?
No, no, no. Okay, no. My paternal link is E. Okay, Gala. You'll understand this, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. E1B1B EV32.
Oh, okay. Are you at EV32?
There you go.
Okay.
But however, that paternal line, the maternal line that it connected with, being in East East Africa, is from the Nilotic people,
Oh
and
yeah.
then and then from the
It's a E3B marker, right?
yeah, I'm an E3P marker, and then at the same time, we intermix with the Nilotic people, and then we intermix with the
Oh yeah, then a lot of
uh,
people then a lot of people they just got it too. They got it too. They got it from a Cushitic people.
there you go, there you
Yeah.
go. So the thing is, EV32, you understand this. EV32 is an offshoot of EV12, and you know where that comes from, right?
Yeah.
So this is where I fight people who are extremes. So if you want to say that Egyptians were white always or light skins, no, I'm gonna fight you because Egyptians EV12. I'm an offshoot of EV32. I intermix with the Nilotics. I intermix with the Omotics in East Africa who were already like us, who look like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So therefore,
They like the more basal version. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I got that mix. So I represent the region as a dark skinned person, but at the same time, I appreciate diversity. So Sarah, bro, hit the link if you want to grow, please. And
Yeah, I
I'm a
got the
person who
article.
sits back and
What
say,
part
Gullah
of
is a man.
this article be like? What part of the article he focus on? I don't get it. Like, don't forget about Egypt for a minute. I'm saying prior to Levantine, I see Somalis or close to Dinka like ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they neighbors, bro. What you don't understand? The Shittick, the
We
Shittick,
just spoke of it.
the Shittick people, they own people. They just was neighbors with the Nilo-Saharan people for fucking years. Man. They
Yeah.
own people. Just like the fucking this is like Mandi people and Songhai people. Songhai or fucking Nilo-Saharan. They just neighbors with Magic Congo speakers, man, no proto Mandi people for a long time. People when people be neighbors and shit, they don't end up fucking. You know what I'm saying? This is how it happens. They intermarry. You know what I'm saying? They might Cushitic person might, you know what I'm saying, take a Nilotic woman as a wife or something. Same way, you know what I'm
So,
saying? You see that a
yeah.
lot in Eritrea, like especially with the Kanuma people and the Nara people. What he wanted me to put up this article for? Like, what's the point?
I really want him to hit the link. Please, bro, hit the link. The thing is, we're here to grow together. Gala, I'm gonna be real with you guys. If you watch Jabari, if you watch Smash, um, Gala is levels above them. No disrespect to anyone. He is levels above them. Take freaking advantage of speaking to the guy. Hit the link.
You know what I'm saying, what in conclusion, that the analysis of Ethiopian and Egyptian whole genome sequence data identifies modern Egyptians as African populations whose genomes and haplotype frequencies most closely resemble those of non-African populations. In fact, that we could identify an Egyptian and African genomic component that is distinct from West and East African components further supports a misnomer disagree degree misnomer degree population activity Egypt since out of Africa disparate. Because they a little bit more watered down.
Like the thing is,
I mean,
when I look,
North African, they got non-African DNA, but they still African.
okay,
It even said it right there. It said the Egyptians are African.
Gala, I agree with you. They're African, but when they say non-African DNA, they're talking about the Levant, right? Like
Yeah, this is a gene flow.
Palestine
Yeah, it's a
region.
gene flow. You know what I'm saying? They still got the African, they still got the indigenous African shit in their substratum, but they still got like, back migrants and shit like that in them too. Lot more than other Afro-Asiatic people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Other Afro-Asiatic people do, but
yeah.
like even
Sarah, please hit the link.
but what he don't realize is that shit, Cushitic people and Cushitic people like early, Eritreic populations. They got a basal Eurasian, early Eurasian back migration in them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Before the later ones came in.
Exactly. Gala, please give a timeline because the thing is, that doesn't make me non-African.
Nah.
Like, we back migrated. Like, the thing is, our back migration is a genuine back migration of the same people, not different group.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand the distance and the neighbors and how they've been intermixing for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So it's not invader type. It's just the same family back migrating into the same region they already lived in.
Yeah.
And intermixing with people who are they related to.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sarah, please hit the link, man. Let's have that conversation right now. You have Gullah. I'm not gonna be disrespectful to you
Why they
guys.
won't hit the link?
Yo, please hit the link. Guys, please hit the link. Yo, Sarah, my brother, I am the most respectful person. Gullah is the most informative person. Hit the link. Take advantage. Please.
Using atmospheric temperature form analysis. Estimated average portion of non-Egyptian to be 80%. And that is the midpoint average.
Emma Jackson is kind of hitting it on the nail. Thank you for saying that, bro. The thing is, we can look at the admixture, and that's not true. If Arabs did depopulate Egypt and make them move south or Sudan, the thing is, women did that. And how often do women warriors come in a depopulated region and push them from the area?
Mm-hmm.
If it's the males that did that, then how do you explain Arabs being J and the Egyptians being E? Paternal line. Now let's look into that. If it was males that came,
No, they didn't. The original Horners didn't look like no Dinka. They looked like Amadic people.
yeah,
They look like
the
Amadic
original,
people, bro.
we still look mostly the same.
Come
We
on,
did
man.
not
Don't let
look
me,
like
you
an
don't,
Inca.
come on, don't let me, don't let them pull. Don't let them let me pull out my tools on, man.
Yeah, don't let me put on my camera, bro.
They ain't even ready. No,
Bro,
no.
I'm a Horner, straight up born from the region, parents straight up from the region. Right now, you're at the wrong tree, bro. You're barking up the wrong tree. Dinkas are not the dominant group in the region. You have
Exactly.
Omatic and other people in the region. Dinka are one group.
Hold on. You see what I pulled up? Hold on. Uh-oh.
Yo, give him that uppercut. Sarah, hit the link, man. You might change your name tonight.
Proto board. Look. Ancient type. Inhabited in southwest Eritrea lowlands prior to arrival of prior to arrival of Ethiopians, the possible resembling early out of Africa types was still common in Kenya and Sudan during the historic times. Some individuals may have pseudo oscular precision optional could found in Kanuma, Nara, but also Amhara, Tigrinya, rarer in Oromo, Beach, and others. You know what I'm saying? Early horners like this, yo.
Now should I turn on my camera to show that I actually look like them?
These the early
Like,
ones. So these the early ones. These ain't even the, you know what I'm saying? This the proto. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the modic look. You know what I'm
bro,
saying? Isolated type, southwestern Ethiopia, northern Kenya, probably belonging to the group. These people are the same people as the proto Ethiopia anyway. They just got isolated and continued on to contemporary times. You know what I'm saying? What you mean why I'm on phenotype? This people type. You just he said what they look like. You said it look like Dinka. The look is a
that
phenotype.
that's not Dinka. Bro,
It's a
look at the
Dinka
nose.
type. It's a
Look at the
modic,
skin
boy. It's their
tone. Look at the
own type.
hair.
A Dinka is a subgroup of a Nilo-Saharan anyway. Dinka ain't even the oldest Nilo-Saharan group. The Coman and the Uduk, they the older Nilo-Saharan groups. The people that speak aquatic, you know what I'm saying, language that probably is related to aquatic language. You know, say isolated type of southwestern Ethiopia, northern Kenya, probably belonging to a group of ancient Ethiopoids. Probably probably a relic of pre-Neolithic periods of most common speakers of Amadic languages. Ari, Bana, Hammer, Karo. You know what I'm saying? The name derives from the Omo Valley, southern Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? But this, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just in that yellow region, you know what I'm saying, ancient time. It was, up here too. It just so happened in it when these people went to this region right here, they start mixing with Basal Eurasians and became the Eretric branches and became the other Afro-Asiatic population. You know what I'm saying? With the Cushitic and the Chadic, like the Cushitic and the Chadic groups being some of the most basal groups out of that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about like modern Chadic people, because most modern Chadic people has heavy admixture with Nilo-Saharan groups. You know what I'm saying? Sahara. Let me get into them. It's the big
Yo, Astra, I agree with you, but the thing is, it won't be EV12 is Egyptian. The offshoot is EV32, which is Somali. Put a timeline to that, bro. We agree for the most part.
go back. Yo,
Mora doesn't represent the original Horner. They are a mixed population. What the fuck is
what do you say?
he said, okay, he's like, Mora doesn't represent the original Horner. They are a modern mixed population.
Mota is an isolated population, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Mota is a modern people, bro. They barely had admixture. Shit. They represent an isolated population in southwest Ethiopia. They still
How
were
the
they stay isolated. They stay isolated in their population, but they come from a older group.
How the hell did we get here, man? Man,
Look, it's the pre, pre the eyelid. You know what I'm saying? These the eyelids right here.
look the
Look,
pre-Nilotics and compared to the Kushitics.
and look,
And
dinkoid is a subgroup of that. It's the dinkoid, or they're a subgroup of the niloids anyway. You got different niloids. My homie BR from Kush Dynasty, that's my homie, bro. Like, what are you saying?
there you go. Bior and let's say the Kushitic, my people, we are family in the region, but different genetically.
They different
And
extremes. They
there
overlap
you go.
different extremes, bro.
There
Like
you go.
like Bior, he got some Cushitic ancestry, but he overall he fucking Dinka. He a Nilo.
There you go.
They speak two different fucking language families, bro.
There you go. And I have Nilotic ancestor DNA, but I'm from the Kushitic language and family. The thing is, you guys don't understand the intermixes and the diversity of the region, let alone Africa. So then you come in with biases. And I'm
Look,
telling you guys, bro,
look,
listen to Gala.
this your people, this your people, bro. You know what I'm saying? You see the Modics in there too. You know what I'm saying? These the Red Sea. I ain't gonna say Horners. I'm gonna say the Red Sea Hills. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they are the Red Sea Hills. The thing is, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
That is the Horn or more like it.
or the Highlands. You know what I'm saying? Even the Modic people before they went into the southern Ethiopia, they from like the southern Highlands and the northern Highlands. You know what I'm saying? In ancient times.
There you go. The thing is, my people look more like them.
Cause these people out here, they got more of the base Eurasian mixed in there.
Eh,
You know what I'm
there
saying?
you go. Exactly.
See, look what it say, Indio Millid. They got that basil, that vidoid. Not that
Yeah.
vidoid. They got the Arabian vidoid right here.
Yeah.
That was right here. 22, migrating in this Red Sea area 22,000 years ago. And then you had
But
some coming up here, you know what I'm saying, but mixing in with the Iberian and shit.
but go back to the last one. Look at the map. Look at the map, bro. Go back to the last one. Look at the map. The one before this.
This one. This one right here, bro.
Oh, look at this guy. Gala showing us later admixture with Eurasian. Even modern Dinka are mixed with Proto-West African. Okay, bro.
He said what?
Bebos, hit the link. Hit the link. I'm not kidding right now. Hit the link. You want to have a real conversation? Hit the link. But the thing he wants to look. He's like Gala showing us later admixture with Eurasians. Gala is giving you
He said
22,000
what?
years.
Modern Dinka like mixed with Proto West African. When? What? Yeah, in the Sahara. And them ain't Dinka, bro. Them ain't Dinka like them Nilo-Saharians. Dinka is a subgroup of Nilo-Saharians, bro. What you talking about?
And they're not Kushitic. Hit the link. He gave you 22,000 years and you said modern. How do I respond to that? Gala says 22,000 years and then you say modern.
What you talking about?
Let me go pull out my hair like Homer Simpson and go bald.
Look, this say East Ethiopia. This directly like they really talking about Somali, right?
Bro,
Proper showing most pronounced Ethiopic characteristics common around Horn of Africa in purest form inland areas of Somalia and eastern Ethiopia. Typical groups include Dawari, Darad, Dar, but also common in Tigrinya, Aga,
yeah.
southern Oromo, sometimes Garangi, Ganga, Amhara, Digel, and Rawin, Rawin, Rahawin, and later groups,
Rahawayne?
later
Yeah.
groups, yeah, later groups have Bantoid admixture because of the Bantu came in, Bantu.
Think that 3,000 to 2,000 years ago, the migration to East and South Africa. Yeah. Gala. Sometimes
What do you say?
you have
What do you say? Cause Shittix ain't later mixed with Eurasian. They was Eurasian. They was mixing Eurasian for a long fucking time, bro.
to
You talking about, bro?
over 20,000 years. 20,000 years.
How
That's
you ever
not
heard? How
recent.
you ever heard of the? How you ever heard of the Ethiopic Ethiopic component? The Ethiopic component is a Eurasian component. I hope you know that.
Gala. The Ethio-Somali component.
Yeah, the Ethio-Somali component. That's a Eurasian component. They just call it the Ethiopian Somali. Come on, man. This dude's stupid. Hold on.
Bro. The
Hold
thing,
on, bro.
I got you.
What you gonna say?
No. I'm gonna sit back. I'm here to learn from you for the most part. I'm shocked that we're here after your presentation tonight. So I'm gonna sit back and let you beat on
Yeah,
people.
we were talking about we were talking about some amazing shit last tonight. Y'all on this shit.
Gala, can I be real with you, bro?
Yeah,
Um, you teach a lot, but at the same time, the community sometimes they are on a specific topic.
yeah,
So if you're gonna stream once a week, I want you to cover the topic of the week.
yeah. But some yeah, I'll do that one day, but I don't want to be stuck into their world. Give
No,
me shit.
I don't want you to be stuck on that world, but I want you to understand that that's where the community is at.
Yeah.
Hit that, and then go on to teaching the real facts that you wanted to teach.
Oh yeah. That's what
Take
I'm gonna do.
advantage of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do then. You right. That's stream. That's you know, yeah, that's that's got that gives you a lot of media.
Yeah. Yo, guys, we're gonna say this. This is all love. We're a community. Let's grow together. Let's be one and actually learn together. Um, I'm from the gaming community. I should not be beating you guys up on this stuff right now. I sit back when Gullah speaks. And we're not even from the same country, from the same region, from the same anything. But I recognize when real people actually teach objective truth. Get away from the subjective stuff. Let's stop getting beat up by the freaking. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Let's stop getting beat up by the white fucking community when it comes to global issues. Let's be like Gullah. Be like Gullah and Ngozi. Please.
You right here say let me say ancestral Eurasian. It say rep, uh, represent the ancestral population of modern Eurasia shortly after out of Africa.
Yeah, Gullah, can you do me a
They are
favor, bro?
referred to have diverged from other Africans, most likely somewhere in Northeast Africa 7,000 years ago. But look, it say various Afroasiatic speakers from Northern Africa, from the Horn of Africa, are suggested to have diverged from other Africans 50,000 years ago. So you know what I'm saying? The Eurasians, they split off from Africans 70,000 years ago, going out of Africa, whatever. But the Afroasiatic populations, these populations that diverge from other Africans had to be Amadic, like you know what I'm saying? They had to diverge from some type of Nilo-like or Hadza-like type people. You know what I'm saying?
Gullah, can I say something and please correct me if I get it wrong?
You said what?
Yeah, you see the chat. Can I say something? Please
I
correct me
don't
if I
even,
get it
he
wrong.
don't even he don't even understand what I'm saying.
He doesn't. That's why I want to simplify it as someone who's not at your level right now. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Gullah, it's like saying A and A look like modern North Africa. You know they didn't later admixture Gullah. Okay. I'm gonna say this to you. As an East African, I'm gonna say this to you. We have to look at the time. You look at skin tone. I think that's the only thing you're focused on is skin color. At some point in history, everyone was dark skinned people or brown skinned people. By the time that East Africans were intermixed with North Africans and Levant people, they were the same skin color.
Yeah, because
As
I think what he confused is the Modic shit is already like it's already melodic like anyway.
yeah,
You know, it's just his own thing. It diverged. It became his own thing. It's very
it, it,
distinct, even
it
though it has
became
some similarities to melodic type people. It's very
it became
distinct.
it became his own thing, but through admixture, who were already dark skinned people who had that light skin DNA or genetics allele, or you wouldn't want to call it. Um, as time went on, the people in North Africa, their gene activated to become light skinned and they became lighter skinned than other people who were in sub-Saharan Africa because of the light skin gene, the dark skin gene, and the sun or whatever mutation you want to call it. You have to recognize the fact that people from the region they're from, their mutation is from that region. So therefore, you can't say East Africans were intermixed with lighter skinned people. They were not. They intermixed with people who look like them.
Mhm.
The whole region, you can see the autosomal DNA separates the haplogroups. They're not like West African. If you want to go back 40, 50,000 years ago, then sure. But Sarah and Davos, or whatever you want to call yourself, the people who built, I think you guys are Egyptian maniacs. The people who put the pyramids are the people who live there today, who look like the Levant people, all the way to people who look like the Beja people. Let's just cut the crap.
If you want to say, you say, wow,
Somalis are pretty dark, bro. Somalis go from, I'm gonna be real with you. Somalis go from Arab looking to dark skin depending on who they're
yeah,
intermixed
it's
with.
some light skinned Somalis. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
We have Somalis that look like Arab, bro. Come
They got
visit
long,
Somalia.
wavy, curly hair. Like their hair texture is very distinct.
Davos. If we give the link, are you gonna hit the link? Let's have a real conversation. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna sit back. I see Gala as one of the gems of the community. I can't think of any streamer on YouTube when it comes to this subject who's better than Gala. Straight up. Hit the freaking link. Take advantage.
You want to say it's a wow. Many studies conduct on Horn of Africa populations estimate a West Eurasian admixture event around 3,000 years ago. But his say Hodgson in 2014 found a distinct West Eurasian ancestry component among studied Afroasiatic people groups in the Horn of Africa and lesser extent in North Africa and West Asia, most prevalent among ethnic Somali. The ancestral component dubbed Ethio-Somali is most closely related to the Maghrebi speaking in Tunisia component and is believed to have diverged from other non-African ancestries around 23,000 years ago. And
Repeat that part. Repeat the year. Repeat the year, man. 23,000 years ago. What are we talking about?
some more basal shit and back migrated. Them people look like them Vidaway people I showed. Motherfuckers, they look like them little Vidaway people I showed. The southern Asian looking people. And they say and migrated back to Africa prior to developing agriculture. Uh 12 to 23,000 years from the Near East. They say this population would have crossed the Sinai Peninsula and then split into two, with one branch continuing west across North Africa and the other heading south to the Horn of Africa. Authors propose that And this ain't even the only one. It's another one too. Watch. It's a author proposed that Ethio-Somali component may have been substantial ancestral component of Proto-Afroasiatic speaking populations. Later migrations from Arabia into the Horn of Africa beginning around 30,000 years ago would explain the origin of Ethio-Semitic languages at this time. And it say, an MTA analysis by Yandini 2016 has produced additional evidence in support a pre-agricultural back migration from West Eurasia into the Horn of Africa, with an estimated date arrival into the Horn in early Heliocene, possibly as a result of obsidian exchange networks across the Red Sea. So this was coming straight from Arabia. That one was. They say Hodgson also confirmed the existence of an ancestral component indigenous to the Horn of Africa, the Ethiopic or the Amadic component, which is most prevalent among speakers of the Amadic branch of Afroasiatic in southeastern. So the indigenous component is Amadic, like he just said it. Hodgson, the geneticist. You know what I'm saying?
Gala, I got you. I'm gonna say this. The people who came back from, let's say, Yemen, they are more related to the Tigray tribe.
Yeah.
The Oromo and the Somali people who are from East Africa, the Oromo tribe intermixed with the Tigray tribes.
Yeah,
The
they did.
Somalis did not.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know the Tigray, the Tigray and the Amhara people are really Aga people. They just Aga people. You know, Aga people are Cushitic people.
Yeah, they are.
The Aga people, they just were the you know the Habesha people are just really just Aga people who mix with South Semitic speaking people became the Ethio-Semitic speakers. You know what I'm saying? But that's later on. That's that 3,000. That's that 3,000 year migration. But the one this lady was talking about, the mtDNA, that's pre-agricultural. That's a pre-agricultural back migration straight from the Red Sea with the obsidian tool exchange. So them had to been some basal Eurasian, vidoid type looking motherfuckers. Like here, hold on, people I showed on here. Arabian vidoid. That look like these. You see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Even they got look, they even got similar types. Proto-Ethiopoid right here.
Yeah. Look at that. But I'm gonna be with you. Gala, I'm from the region. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. Those are Yemenis, Egyptians, and some Somalis. Like, what the hell do I gotta say to you guys? Yemenis look like that, Egyptians look like that, and Somalis look like that.
Yeah, and people from Socotra. You know what I'm saying? They look. You say ancient Vita-like type of Arabian Peninsula, South Iran, often heavily mixed, found in Mary, South Oman, around Harjamat, Yemen, Iranians and Susa, Makran, and Socotrans, sometimes Mesopotamia and even Nubia. This type could be linked to ancestral Arabian population as well as Dravidians of India. You know the Dravidians ain't even really from India. They from the Middle East, like the Tamil speakers. They from the Middle East and traveled and migrated into India. Because you had the other people, you had they called them people that was there before.
No, I agree with you. Can I just add one little piece? Because someone in chat said the Yemenis ruled the area.
Who?
I don't know. I think it was Astro. I'm gonna say this. East Africans actually went all the way to freaking India to trade with them. So therefore,
Yeah, they didn't rule
They,
that area.
yeah, they didn't. So therefore, they did that better. Yo, you got Street Sufi. I'm gonna say this. Um, you got freaking Ngozi in chat.
Yeah, it's a dark Somalian. Somalians range, bro. What are you talking about? This
Bro.
dude crazy.
Yo, Street
Somalians
Sufi.
range, bro.
We range. Street Sufi, can you please come
Street
into the
Sufi,
chat?
Street Sufi wife is a light-skinned Somali. What are you talking
There
about?
you go. Yo, I'm gonna say this. I don't know where she's from, but me and Street Sufi's wife are probably from the same region. We are family in that area. So Street Sufi is my brother. Um,
You got dark Somalians, light Somalians. You got some Somalians that's mixed with Bantu. Look, they range, yeah. What you talking about? Look, motherfuckers range, bro.
yo, bro, Ngozi is in chat. Bro, I want Ngozi to Gala. If Ngozi can come hit the link, I'm gonna tell you this straight up. I'll turn this into a straight podcast and share it voice wise the discussion we have tonight.
I put the link. I put the link in there again.
Ngozi, hit the link. I want you to build. I want you to share information. I'm gonna turn this discussion into an actual podcast, practice my skills on it, and share it with both of you guys. I did it for one of Gala's streams at one time, and Gala, I shared it with you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever check it out? Cause I try to like give an intro to it and ending to it, and I let you guys speak.
Yeah, he's stuck on somebody being dark. Anybody who said a damn Javidian is dark, or a Tamil person is dark. Shit.
Look at Sri Sufi, same Kabil. Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. Sri Sufi is my younger brother, and I'm gonna love that guy for life. He's for real, my like same Kabil. What the hell? Russ, I respect that, bro. Straight up. The rest is history. Like, look at that. Gala. Look at the phenotype. Okay, I'm gonna say this to you, bro. Look at the skin tone. Beyond the skin tone, I want you to look at the morphology and the like the skin the features of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, look at the lips, look at the cheekbones, look at the nose, look at the freaking
Hey,
lips.
Bella, could you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now, bro.
Assalamu
Okay.
alaikum, bro.
Wa alaikum salam. What up, IY Sonic? What up, Gullah? How y'all doing?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Alhamdulillah. Hey, you know what
Alhamdulillah.
you know what I'm learning, man? Wallahi, bro. A lot of people are like very colorist and racist, and they don't understand that when it comes to ancient humans and populations, it doesn't matter what skin tone they were, or what they look like, but people are so like it's like a phobia for dark skin. It's like when you think about somebody being dark skinned, an ancient population, it's like a phobia, you know? Or if they have like
Mhm.
intermediate skin, it's a phobia. And it's like the population, like the Natufians, for example, they didn't have the mutation for SLC2485 on chromosome 15, and they wasn't even a homogenous people. They were already mixed with a population who was like Zutzana, who back migrated from the north, who mixed with ancestral North Africans, and they was something called the Mushabians, who turned around and mixed with the Cambrians in the Levant. And the Cambrian population wasn't even the same population in the Levant. The Levant, if you look at the Lebanese, the Jordanians, they have a lot of population turnovers. Not saying that they don't have Natufian DNA in them, but the people of Socotra and Yemen and Arabia have a higher component of Natufian DNA in them than the people in the north. They got it in them, but it's not like a 50-50 thing like you'll find in Bedouin groups, right? It's not in them. So there has been a lot of population turnovers. So when you talk about the Ethio-Somali component, which is not the Ethiopic component, people don't know that.
Yeah, I
That
know
shit was
that.
all
Yeah. The Ethio Somali component come from Eurasia. They don't even know.
yeah, the Ethio-Somali component came from Eurasia, and it was shared between ancestral later North Africans and early Levant
This and,
populations.
and this and it's a sister component to the Maghrebi component, which also
Yes,
came from Eurasia. You know what I'm saying?
right. So right, and so when Ngozi said things in the past and niggas don't get it, when I said the ancient Egyptians was Ethio-Somali, you had people on certain shows like, yeah, gold used to promote, but that Ethio-Somali is not even African in origin. It comes from early Eurasians that back migrated.
This dude
Thank
Davo stupid.
you.
This dude Davo stupid. You can still have the SLC gene and still be dark. It don't get matter, bro.
Yes, yes, the Ethiopians proved that because you can have SLC245 on chromosome 15, but if you have other genes that's active, it can be camouflage. And a great article that people should read is called "Light Skin and Dark Skin Both Evolved in Africa." So you can have SLC, like 15% of African American populations have SLC245 that they receive from Northwestern European admixture. But that doesn't mean that it's going to express itself if other genes is active fully. So you look at the Habesha people, a lot of them have it, but because they have other genes that's active, it won't express itself like it will for populations in Nordic Europe or certain populations in the Middle East. They can have it and it fully express itself. You know what I'm saying? So people
Yeah,
don't
and
understand
and
mutation.
they be and the people be dark, but they don't be dark on the average like a Dinka, like Nilo-Saharan and
Correct,
West Africans and shit. You know what I'm
correct.
saying?
But they don't understand Gullah evolution and biology. They're so racist. Like people find a big issue with back migration occurring 23,000 years ago, or even with like when we talk about Egypt all the time, some of those DNA signatures was there for so long, like what they found in Abu Sir. If you look at the mtDNA that was found in Abu Sir, mtDNA-W, mtDNA-U6, mtDNA-I, mtDNA-R, that shit been there for a very long time. So then when you look at like mtDNA L3, three of them was that shit been there. So if you go back to mtDNA U6, that's been in Africa for 25,000 years. So when they say, oh, we don't agree with the mitochondrial DNA that's in Egypt in Abu Sir, but that shit been there, a lot of it, and it's really stupid to argue with them. Or mtDNA M1, you find it amongst East Africans that's been there for a very long time. It possibly even diverged from L3 to N and M. The basal group of N was found in the Sakari population in Libya at base. And we know that a lot of people in the early Levant, if you look at it like that, that can be classified as Greater Africa because a lot of the shared genetic signature was already divergent between Northeast Africa, and we include Upper Egypt, North Sudan, the southern portions of the Levant, and certain portions of the Arabia. The stamp's been going back and forth for a very long time. So when we look at certain shit now, we're racializing this shit, and we're putting these bar systems there, like, oh, this is not this and this is not that, or dark skin got, if you're dark skinned, you got to be remnants of a sub-Saharan African, which is really stupid because Homo sapiens started out dark skinned. You know, when they diverge within a continent, they develop in tropical zones, equatorial zones, and we understand, if you understand mutations, higher volumes of radiation, the more DNA damage, the more deoxyribonucleic acid damage, the more you have radiation, which causes mutations and damages. So Homo sapiens was a tropical naked ape that diverged in the eastern corridor of Africa. So it gets really stupid going backwards and forth with these people, yo. Wallahi.
Oh, well
Yeah,
said, bro.
no, this for
Stupid.
real. Yeah, it's crazy.
Follow the mutations. We could talk about the morphology. What's a Caucasoid morphology? How did that shit diverge? Where did it come from? It didn't come from Armenia. It didn't come from fucking Europe. The morphology developed in the eastern corridor between North Africa and the Levant. It's indigenous. So just because you're Caucasoid don't mean that you're white. You see what I'm saying? If you want to talk about that, if we talk about the shift in people depending on grains and barley, um, the morphology of people change. This whole article on it, how agriculture changed our skull types. You would have looked distinct from populations that were hunter gatherers thousands of years before when they were much more robust. So it's like when we look at the Ethio-Somali population in morphology, the population in the Levant, the population in North Africa, that's a very old morphology, and it diverged at a certain time period, and it don't belong to white people. It don't belong to white people.
So,
Stupid
Ngozi,
shit.
am I wrong to say this? I am a
What's that?
Caucasoid with dark skin.
No, you're not wrong. I'm a Caucasoid with dark skin.
So so
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so why
yeah.
are they
Really,
confused
hey,
about this?
hey, hey, you really, hey, to
Yeah.
truth be told, you really a motherfucking Highlander, African Highlander for real. Cause y'all shit older.
I mean, yeah. Then hold on, now, Key. We can't denounce the creolization. How many AAs got that morphology? You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Like
oh, yeah.
that shit go backwards and forth. Like I think that we bigger than that, man. And going back and forth with these people when it comes to populations, Gullah Geechee, you keep doing your thing, man. I'm really proud of you, man. I love what you're doing, man. You've been putting in work. And my brother Iwa Sonic, I really thank you for the support. And I really thank what you do because you got a lot of sense too in this field. You feel me? We got a lot of shit to do, you know?
No, no, I appreciate it. The thing is, I think you guys are amazing with the information that you guys bring. All I can do is support and encourage you guys keep doing it. And Gozi,
Alhamdulillah.
I haven't seen you in the last bit, and I feel like you've been busy with real life.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm happy to actually hear your voice tonight, and
Oh
I
yeah.
appreciate that. Another thing is, I know Gullah has like a huge family. He has 6 kids. Alhamdulillah, and I hope I can have that.
Alhamdulillah.
Somehow I can have that one day at my
Bismillah
age.
ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother doing his thing, man. When life kick in and get real, I'm just tired of the debating with the pseudos, and I really love what Gullah doing when it comes to teaching West African history from Mali to the Bantu people and giving people a full spectrum of their identity because the shit that they promoting, you know, you got African Americans and not just them, but even the Hoteppers, they're so enthralled and endowed with trying to be non-African. But when you learn about ancient Mali, ancient Gambia, ancient Cameroon, and even these non-African niggas that's like Middle Eastern type people, not all of them, but the Egyptomaniac people, because you got them too. They try to make it seem like, oh, West Africans was primitive, they was nothing, and that's not true. We're Homo sapiens sapiens, we're humans. We achieve things just like other people did. But the thing is that antiquity is based off the Mediterranean portion of the world. And that includes Rome, Greece, Egypt, Morocco, and they disregard other portions of the world because people are so focused on that. But then when you start going into West Africa and do the shit that Gullah Geechee doing, you talk about ancient Ouagadougou, ancient Timbuktu, ancient Mali, see ancient Sierra Leone, and the events that was going on prior before these other regions, it becomes a problem. And we should embrace all of it because what's true is that the human story, all these regions belong to everybody. We're the same species. So any Homo sapien achievement belongs to everybody. It shouldn't be a racial line. You know what I'm saying? And when I hear people do that, I really look at them like they sick. I'm not arguing about if the Egyptians was whatever color they were. I don't give a, it don't matter. Them niggas was Northeast Africans. I don't give a fuck what they look like. That's their history. It's great history. We talk about
Even the,
ancient Ghana. Go ahead.
even
Go ahead, Gullah.
even even the back migration. People don't understand this. Even the back migrations, uh, like people with particular markers, the back migrations. They've been in Africa so fucking long that they mutated their own branches in Africa.
Yep, they have unique clades. Like you can tell the difference between U6 that's been in the continent and clades of it that's not. You can even tell between like R1BBA8. That shit been in Africa for so long, for 6,500 years. It's distinct from the pre R1BBA8 that exists in Sardinia before crossing Gibraltar.
M1 and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is shit. So it
But
makes it African. Even with the later derived mutations that we have, E1B1A, that's not the earlier E1B1A that diverged from E1B1B in East Africa from EP2. We have later derived. So it gets real. Like, or even look at the clade of EB13 that branched off of EM78 or EB12, right? And the EB13 been in the Balkans for a very long time. And that shit moves like any other Mediterranean population, but they diverge. So haplogroups don't mean shit, especially if it's been somewhere for so long and developed its own unique segment, you know what I'm saying, within different regions.
thank you.
What are you talking about?
Thank you for saying that, man.
Hold on, look. This dude this for the chat. Look, 2020, using principal components analysis showed that approximately 60% of Somali ancestors is East African and 40% is West Eurasian. Yo, what is this dude?
Correct,
Boom.
correct. But he got to be
Boom.
careful with that because if you go further into that study, the 40% of the Eurasian is layered with North African and it's also layered with something that crossed this Natufian like.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah. It's
so,
different.
so
It's different levels of the Eurasian too.
right.
Yeah,
So like if we look at the Habesha in Ethiopia, they have the Natufian signal on one layer, they have the pre-motor signal on one layer, and then they have a later Eurasian that came in
yeah,
from the top
yeah,
3,000
3,000
years
years
ago.
ago. Yeah,
And them Eurasians that came in 3,000 years ago were close to the Chalcolithic culture in the Copper Age. So when they came in, they brought the segment of the CHG, I mean, the Caucasus hunter gatherer layer. They're drifting in. So once they're drifting in into Ethiopia, that's another layer. But the people in Africa already had an earlier Eurasian component. So the 40% that's found in Somali, let's look at Somali DNA as a plot. 60%. They have pre-Nilotic, pre-Mota, which is the East African hunter-gatherer, right? Which is pre-Mota, Ethiopic. Then they have a layer that's North African, and then they have a layer that's Levantine, Free Arabian. And they got that shit from post Natufian populations, which is pretty much pre-modern Neolithic culture that migrated back in. So that shit is layered in between a layer of North Africa. See, the thing about North Africa is very mysterious. Some of this shit that they're calling the Tufian is actually aboriginal to that portion of North Africa. It's already shared components that's been going backwards and forth from the Levant to Egypt for a very long time. So it's very hard to pinpoint the segment because if you look at Assyrians, the Assyrians stretched from East Africa from 130,000 years ago to 50,000 years ago. 30,000 years ago, there was a shift with the Assyrians in the Eastern Corridor. So the population that diverged from them, who went into the Levant 70,000 years ago to 80,000 years ago, was something called the Emirates culture. So they already had shared components with populations that they drift from Egypt. When you talk about this segment that they're labeling as pre-Natufian or pre-Arabian hunter-gatherer, it gets very foggy. So some of that shit is actually ancestral late North African, not earlier phase, because you got a population that's been somewhere from 130,000 years to 50,000 years. Imagine how many drifts, how many mutations occurred that would have been distinct from population that they first split from. People are not really paying attention to what's going on. So he can show Eurasian all he wants. Eurasian is not a scary thing. The niggas, the earlier the Eurasians, the more they drift from ancestral North Africans that they peeled off from in the Sinai area. So it doesn't fucking matter.
A Papua New Guinea is a fucking Eurasian.
Yes, he is. A person from
Australian.
Australoid, people from the Andaman Islands. Like we're not gonna play a Eurasian game. Like, okay, then African American who's 20% Northwestern European. Europeans are Eurasians too. You think Eurasians is special, but then you want to insult a Black American who got the shit in him too? It's ignorant, bro.
Yo, can I interject for a sec?
Go ahead, my brother.
The thing is, I'm reading chat right now because I come from a different mindset. I'm gonna say this. There's Davos in chat, and he's like, he thinks that you guys are playing games when you speak of things. Okay, so clarify this part. Let's say the Somalis, when let's say whatever intermixes they have, I say this, they are of the same skin tone and phenotype.
Yes.
So I want you to break that down and give a timeline date so that he can see that the Somalis of today are intermixes of the Omaric people and the North Africans who are still dark-skinned people who have the same phenotype as in morphology when it comes to bone structure.
So basically, the further back in time you go, the more the population is going to be darker. Now, if you want to go back to when we were Australopithecus, what Lucy was under the fur, she was light. But when Homo human first formed, which is Homo habilis, handyman, then by the time we became Homo erectus, man became like a mahogany brown color. By the time we became Homo sapiens sapien, we were fully tropical adapted and naked.
Yeah,
right?
I was saying Lucy. I seen Lucy. Some picture of Lucy. Lucy probably was her coloration probably like a bonobo. You know how bonobos dark where the fur is where the skin is exposed. That it's like dark where
yeah, and she could have been that with some slightly, the oldest form of pigmentation on the planet is pink, and it was found in Mauritania. So
look, you ever seen chimps, like even like common chimps when they born they light as fuck, but like they get them dark spots when they get older and shit. They been exposed into the sun a lot of times.
Yeah. So and yes, absolutely, Gullah. And by the time this naked ape called Homo sapiens became tropical adapted in equatorial zones in Africa, he was dark skinned and naked. right? Some of us probably had lighter brown underhues, but the ancestral variant for SLC2485, ancestral GG, evolved in Africa, but it expressed itself as CC. That it did not fully blossom the way people think it did. And then when people got that Kitlog gene around 30,000 years ago, when the variant started to arose, that was responsible for how melanin started to express itself outside of the continent when Homo sapiens started to drift apart. So you find a first case of SLC2485 in a small population near the Caucasus 19,000 years ago, and not even all of them had it. It didn't even fully kick in into a mass population yet until around 8 to 9,000 years ago, right? Before it completely spreads. So it's a difference between variation erosion and when it kicks in before it's not. I don't understand why people find it so insulting for a human population to be darker skinned further back in time. So what my brother Awa Sonic says, those Somali people, their morphology does not come from there. Their morphology came from earlier populations, like my brother Gullah said, who drifted from West Asia a very long time ago, and they were darker skinned. They were not paler skinned. They were darker skinned with those same features. When they drift back into the continent, they're meeting up with populations who were pre-Nilotic like, and they're meeting up with those motor like people. And not to mention, the Tufians already had 8 to 6.5% motor like signals in them. What did that come from? That came from those Mushabians who were already mixed with the Zuzana that back migrated. They probably crossed through Italy and mixed with the Assyrian population, later populations, and even the Assyrians in the eastern part. Those niggas started mixing with those Cormarusians. Those Cormarusians was really the population that was pre-motor like that drifted
Yeah,
up there and mixed.
yeah. It come from what Christopher Eric called the retreat people, like the branches, the people from the Red Sea Hills and shit.
Right.
And mixed. They went up there and mixed with the ancient North Africans and shit.
Correct. So here's the thing, Kings. By the time we get into the Levant, it's just like if we use Drake, for example. Drake's father is a black African man from Memphis, Tennessee. He's probably about 70 to 80% African, 20% Northwestern European. That's what comes with the story. But Drake, he had a baby by Drake's mother, who's a European Jewish woman. Drake is probably 48 to 47%, black, right? But here's the trick. He turned around and had a baby by a French woman. So autosomally, looking at Drake's son's probably 27% black. There has been an autosomal DNA shift. So if we can see this in a small amount of time, when the Tufians or the Mushabians leaked out into the Levant and mixed with the overwhelming population with the Cambrians, there was an autosomal DNA shift. So this is why when we use certain principal component analysis and we see the plot, it says that the Tufians in the Levant, which was distinct from the populations in Iran, who were also Basal Arabian like or Basal Eurasian hypothetical population. But those in the Levant was 27 point something percent North African admix like, 6.8% motor like, and 65% pre-Arabian like. So they wasn't a homogenous population. So the signals that drifted out of North Africa left out of North Africa already mixed because Zuzana already drifted down there. So they left out with some motor signals. Then when they go over there, they're mixing with Arabian hunter-gatherers who are Basal Eurasian like, and they're breeding with them before they become this shit called Natufians. So we're not dealing with a fixed population. Shared affinities was already going backwards and forth in those areas. And we can see that. And if they was it's EM123, which splits off from EZ827, is the predecessor of EZ830. Where did EZ830 diverge from? Near Egypt corridor. And if we go further back in time, where did those E split from? EV65 or E deform into EM78, which splits into EV12. It goes back to the base, EM215. Where did EM215 come from? EM215 both come from E1B1, which is shared with EV38, that black African ugly ape that niggas hate. The one that everybody say the subhuman. I'm just using that as a joke. But the niggas all split from East Africa. If you follow the phylogenetic tree and he had enough time to drift away from one another and be separate. We're not gonna play these games, bro. We're not. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
Well,
wow.
I want to say this. If anyone wants to hit the link, you are not gonna have a better combination than Gullah and Sri Sufi.
We gonna tie
Like,
it up, man. Me and Gullah gonna
like,
beat it up.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. Gullah is material culture. He understands Africa and North America. And
Right.
Goldie, which is Street Sufi, understands the genetics, and he also understands people populations. I
Yeah.
read the material, but I sit back. I recognize when people are, let's say this, more informed than I. There's time to recognize when you are not the teacher in the group and that you're just a student. I can do that. How many of you guys can do that? And if you think you're the teacher, why aren't you hitting the link to challenge the other people?
They probably not, man. I mean, people just want to be different, man. We're gonna let everybody vent and express themselves. Me and Gullah been doing this a while, and also you, Alba Sonic, you've been doing this a while. It becomes laughable. You know, people just want to be right. People have biased views. Science isn't biased. Wallahi, it's not. There is no room to be biased in science, bro.
It's not. And Gozi, I try to share this with you bits, but I'm gonna say this to you. Um, Education has allowed me to sit back and learn my subjective bias in order to put it aside so that I can learn the objective truth. So then when I do research, I have to be able to put aside my biases so that I can actually grow and learn. Or else what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to read information in order to look for things that prove my subjective views. This
And
community,
yeah, go ahead, King. You thinking like a scientist, Aki.
yeah, this community is about just proving their subjective views and not understanding to be objective. Sit back and understand what your biases are so that you can actually grow by putting that aside.
The community is full of idiots, and they're not meant to go far. They're meant to only think like what I'm learning though, Aki, is that most of the world wants to believe. Most of the world wants to be part of something. Most people are not scientifically literate. Yeah, I mean, that's some real 5% stuff. Most of the world is not scientifically literate. People are getting this stuff for their own personal agendas. They're not fully understanding this stuff. They entertain the idea of science, but science is boring and it's messy. So most people, they have like this conscious community. That's a circus. They're not serious people. People trying to use race, which is not scientific, in a field of biology or anybody understands evolution. There is no such thing when it comes to race, especially with our species. There's only one race, Homo sapiens sapiens. And what we see within our species is populations with different is groups of people within our same species with unique mutations that develop outside of certain zones climatically at the Klein and Demi level, but we're ultimately 99.9% the same, right? If you look at it, at that 0.1%, that's 500 billion chemicals, 500 million variants, and it's very small, but you can see it on the surface. It doesn't separate us as a species, right? And that's the problem. When you have people talking about this shit from a racial angle, looking at skulls, yo, this is Caucasoid, this is Negroid, I'm better than you. And then you start looking at what about the Nigerian that's highly smart over the motherfucking Bedouins in Arabia that's not as smart as them? How is being Caucasoid more unique? Now it gets real stupid. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't, racialize people based off intelligence, or intelligence shouldn't be a standard based off racialization. That's how you know race is a social construct. It really is. It's stupid. It really is. And these stereotypes, becomes problematic. Even with the West Africans, they be going against, if you online, they go against the African Americans. They talking shit about African American IQs, but African Americans got Northwestern European in them. That should put them in a better plot than other people. Does it really? Race does not matter. It's not scientific. So this conscious community is full of idiots. You got niggas trying to say the Egyptians were Eurasians, they were Caucasians, they were better than niggers. Then you got other people saying, well, they were this, they were that, or West Africa did this, and they're all using this stuff for their own personal agenda, and it becomes very stupid because it's not scientific. It's not. It's not. So I'm starting to laugh at the conscious community. That's why you haven't really been hearing me out, Sonic, because I'm more of a witness now. I'm more of a witness now. I enjoy listening to my brother Gullah teach. I listen to certain shows, but I don't really do much talking because it's getting stupid. It's getting stupid,
No,
and until people get like credentials, include myself in these fields, that's when it's worth. But even once I get going to the direction the way I need to, academically, I wouldn't be debating nobody in the conscious community because it's a joke. But I do love how, the debates is funny, it's entertaining, and you start to laugh at them. You laugh at them. Even the chick Egyptology 7, she has an agenda. Like that shit that she talking about is like it's like it's obvious these people are racist. So I just don't shit on black people. I shit on everybody that's stupid or come. You can have all the articles in the world, but if you misrepresent these articles and for your own personal agenda to fit your own motherfucking mindset, it's just as false as a hotepper. All y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's stupid.
No, bro, and Gozi, I think I try to share this with you. I respect your knowledge. I sit back when you speak, and I always want to learn from you. Um, there's a guy in chat who's not willing to hit the link and speak to us, and he keeps referring to the Ari people. Am I wrong to say this? The Ari people are more from the southern parts of Ethiopia. So
Yes,
therefore, there are different population groups than the people who are from the Horn, like
correct,
myself.
correct. The Ari people are Moda people. They're Omatic. These are part of these, Ethiopian hunter gathering groups. So the Ari locksmith that people use as a proxy is only an example of the early Ethiopian hunter gatherers, right? That's what the Ari people are. They're Omatic people. They speak Omatic language. So bringing them up for whatever reason, I don't know, right?
So
I
he's
mean,
trying to
even
say they're the originals from that area. That's what he's trying to say.
I
Nah,
wouldn't say
they just basal. They just
the,
basal. Basal
yeah.
population is isolated.
There you go, Gullah. There you go. Yeah, they're more basal. The Ethiopic hunter gatherers are basal there, but a lot of their populations who drifted north did receive some signals from further north or outside of the continent, and they still have remnants of them in them. A Habesha has some motor in him. A Somali has some motor in him. Ari, I mean, a Far has some motor in them. It might not be, it ranges, but that motor is the base root in some phases of the Horn of Africa. It's been there. So yeah,
Okay, when you say the base, when you share this information, I want you to give a date, timeline, so they don't think it's modern.
so when if we can use a population as a proxy, right? Like the Hadza population are the only group of people in Africa that's close to all non-Africans or a population that diverge from non-Africans, right? They have a unique clade of B that's related to what they label as scientific Eurasian atom, CTM168, right? So when you look at their alleles, the Hadza had motor alleles. So the motor already diverged at base. Even though they found the child, the motor boy that goes back 4,000 years, that population or the genetic signatures that they had, it's actually ancient. It's actually an ancient phase that probably diverged at base, at like a pre-motor group, probably around 50,000 years ago when EM96 started to diverge. EM96 diverged around 70 bands ago. They would have been close to Hadza like populations that all non Africans come from. Who is scientific atom or Eurasian atom? Eurasian atom is CTM168. Where is scientific or Eurasian atom brother still? It's related to the B population that's still in Africa. CT and BM60 both split from what? East African BT. And these people that like the Hadza, they are closer to the non-African population. So even E, which comes out of CTM168, it comes from DE that peeled off. Some of the people stayed there. So when you start looking at DE and EM96, this is when you start to see the phase that has its own unique base stratum at pre-motor groups. And some of these people diverge as the Cormarugians crossing through Eritrea, Ethiopia, going through North Sudan, and penetrating, bringing the E there before going to different directions and start to cross. That's how tricky this shit gets.
And goes, so
It's
you
not
said
simple.
50K years, right? Just to clarify, you
50,000.
said 50K
50.
years.
Yes.
So
50,000.
why are we worried about 50K years if we're discussing modern stuff?
I don't know why they do that, man. I mean, they're using this stuff, all we have is proxies and examples based off modern populations. And these modern populations is the base example to give us a hint of who was who. But you'll never get the full story. So these are just proxies. So I don't know why they do that. I don't get why they do it, but you got to be very careful when you do that. you know?
And Gold, can I say something right now? When I look
Go
at
ahead.
things right now, Sarah says, dated to the Islamic invasion. Now what? 50K years is not the Islamic invasion. And Islam, the Arabs, did not invade East Africa. Ngozi, correct me if I say
No,
this.
no, no,
They
no,
came
no.
in, they came in peace in East Africa. East
So,
Africans did not interact with Islamic people of the period in a
so
hostile way.
they don't know shit about it. First of all, Arabs and the Somalis control the Red Sea, so they control the ports. So they already had a cultural exchange with merchants in between. So Somali was never forced into Islam. They already had merchants. First of all, the reason why a lot of Bedouistic people, uh, even the Fulani, there was not a Islamic jihad on the Fulani in the Sahara. The Fulani picked it up because of the cultural customs that the Arab already had similar to them. It was all pastoralist groups. So the Somali, the only people that had a problem with the Arabs are the Egyptians in 641 AD. I mean, in 641 when they came in. Then they conquered the rest of North Africa. After they came in 640 AD, they conquered the rest of Africa. The black Africans, even in the Sahel, never was forced into Islam by Arab. They received Islam through trade with the Amazigh in the north. Now, the Somali, that's a whole other story. The Somali received Islam through trade. Egyptians got conquered in 641 AD by the Arabs, right? And then after them, the people in North Sudan kind of picked it up. This is when they started to delineate the difference between Mizr, which is Mizraim, which is Egypt, and Bilal el Sudan. Bilal el Sudan in Arabic means land of the black. This is when they started to create, and Sudan just doesn't stretch between the Nile Valley corridor. Bilal el Sudan stretched between the Nile Valley corridor all the way through the Sahel, right? Even Senegal is classified as Sudan. People don't understand that shit. So, so when so there was not an invasion that Somali already controlled the ships. I mean, I'm sorry, the ports of the Red Sea, and even the Habasha. They were part of the Byzantine Empire, so they were also included in the Mediterranean world when they were Christians and the Coptic Christians that came into Egypt. The first Christian Coptic church, a lot of those saints was coming from Egypt and going to find a second base in Ethiopia. The two world oldest churches in the world are two places: Armenia and Ethiopia.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. The thing is, when there's the Islamic period, Ngozi,
Mm-hmm.
I try to be humble as fuck, bro, and I feel like I'm consistently disrespected on the YouTube streets. I
Yeah,
come in with an extended hand to say,
yeah.
my African American brothers, I respect you. I look at you guys as leaders when it comes to the global stage, and I hope my country aligns with you guys. But then I get an FU from people.
Well, they don't understand, man. I mean, America promotes Islamophobia, and a lot of these African American, they're picking up on that because they're American. They don't really have a full understanding of the East and what occurred. So, there's a very strong anti-Islamic mindset that developed. A lot of these people on the borderline of becoming atheists, especially the Hoteppers. Like they don't believe in shit. So they look for reasons to try to. They don't even understand the Arab world. You ask a person what an Arab is, they don't even understand the genetics of an Arab. You know, we have to become very scientifically literate and become more historical with how things got where it got, why it got there, and who was who. So the Somali never was forced into Islam. The Somalis already controlled the Red Sea for a very long time, and they already had access trade with Arabs even before Islam even came. So when the Arabs came in, they did come in peacefully. They sent merchants into the Horn of Africa. Now Egypt is a different story, but in the Horn, that's a different story.
Hey,
So,
hey, goes, can I give an example, bro?
go
Um,
ahead.
I do my best not to be disrespectful. Um, I'm gonna say this tonight. I'm gonna say for a minute, I'm gonna say F this, okay? I mean, no disrespect, but F this.
Go ahead, Aki.
When you look in North Africa, the main language is Arabic. So they had a different experience from East Africa, Somalis. They
Correct.
speak Arabic. They lost their original language and culture.
Correct.
We have our original language and culture. I speak
Correct.
my native language from thousands of years ago.
Correct.
Okay?
They,
And
hey,
I'm
you
gonna
just you just killed it right there. they're gonna let you know.
That kills it. So I'm gonna say this. I'm doing my best not to be disrespectful because I want unity and not to be divided further. And I'm gonna say this. Bilal is not a mix of Somalis and Arabs, okay? Bilal is a mix of Arabs and something else from Africa. I respect Bilal. I'm never gonna
Correct.
disrespect Bilal.
Yes, Bilal's father was from the dark Arab tribes, and his mother, they say Abyssinian, but Abyssinian is a very tricky word. Abyssinia at that time could have been North Sudanese. She could have been Oromo. She could have been Omatic. We don't know. But his father, according to some hadith, he was a dark Arab, and all Arabs are not homogenous. They can look different ways. You got different clans over there, especially at that time. Some Arabs even enslave other Arabs. So it wasn't a color thing. But his father was a dark Arab. He wasn't a what people think he was. It gets real tricky. Hey, Awa Sonic, I gotta go, bro. I love y'all, bro. Assalamu alaikum, man. Alhamdulillah. Thank y'all for letting me come on, bro.
I'm finna shut it down anyway, y'all. It's getting late.
I thought Gullah passed out. Yo, Ngozi,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure having you tonight, and I appreciate the fact that we had a conversation.
Alhamdulillah.
It's been some time. It's always good to hear from you.
Mashallah, brother. Peace, man. I'm gonna get in tune with y'all.
All right, peace, y'all.
Peace.